Hello and welcome to episode, I don't know, of DCP, the Destiny Community Podcast. This week we've got Jason Sniperton, Mylan, Miss 5000 Watts, and me, Briar.
Hello.
Oh, this is
Hello.
DCP? Oh,
Mm.
I'm in the wrong
Oops.
place.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong podcast.
Shoot.
Dang it.
Was a week in Destiny this week.
It was another week in Destiny.
Was a week.
Week 743 has passed us by.
I wonder what week this is for Destiny overall. We'd have to go back to release week.
Yeah, we'd have to do. We could calculate it. I bet if we figured out what episode this was, like 344 or whatever, and then added like I think it was like 86 of the Planet Destiny podcast. There were
Like 360 something probably.
and then we started that in Dark Below. So how many weeks were there before we started it? You know, we can figure it out.
Math.
I bet it's getting close to 500 weeks of Destiny at this point.
Wink.
460, not 360. Yeah.
James
9
worked
years,
it out.
right?
James worked it out. He's like, yeah, something like that, right? It's 9 years.
Well, let me.
It'd be 9 years in September,
Yeah.
right? 9 years September.
I made a mistake today. I went to a golf lesson after not eating breakfast or dinner actually last night, if I think about it. And then I was so happy with my golf lesson that I immediately went to the course, not realizing that it was like 96 degrees and 110% humidity.
Don't recommend that.
And by the fifth hole, I was
what's
like,
that
I have
thing?
made a huge mistake. I don't know if I can get back.
You just
But
try to drink more
Did I
beer?
stop golfing and just walk back to my car? No, because I paid for that round of golf, and god damn it, I'm going to play it, even though I could hardly hit the ball. By the time I got back to my car, I was, you know, when you've sweat so much, there's actually like white marks on your shirt from the sweat, like the salt
yeah,
and
like
the sweat.
sweat stains. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that going. The starter looked at me as I walked by, like, "Eesh."
Like,
And then
it's hot. He understands.
Yeah, it was hot. It was damn
hot.
hot. And then, so I'm a little tired. So if I fall asleep on the podcast, I've instructed my fellow hosts to wake me up.
Just keep it
Continue.
going. No, yeah.
To keep
continue.
you sleeping. Yeah.
Just
We're gonna keep
go
Briar
on
asleep.
without me.
Maybe we can get someone to bring in a blanket or something.
I'm going to need you to open up, what's it, like remote viewer or something so we can control your PC.
Control my
Just
desktop.
Zoom into it like in his mouth.
Turn the stream off. 99.
How have you guys been? Jay, what have you been up to lately?
Buying lots of retro games and
Nice.
hanging out with my kids, actually. Now I'm playing a ton of Destiny because the kids have been Theo's been out of school and he just turned 7, so I've been hanging out with him for a lot before he gets into camp stuff. So
7. That's gaming age. That's like prime
yeah.
gaming age, right?
Well,
Like,
he's Minecraft maniac.
okay.
Like big time. I'm gonna try to get him into Destiny soon. He downloaded this level in Minecraft that's basically a first person shooter. He's like,
Okay.
it's so much fun. I was like, yes.
He's like,
Oh,
oh, you like
really?
this kind of thing, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Jay's making Minecraft Destiny packs. It's like enemies dropping loot. Oh, do you see how that Elixir dropped a diamond sword? Interesting.
It's gold. It's great.
Ooh.
And my kids like mained Minecraft. Like I think they only played Minecraft really for about 5 years. But really, like Minecraft is so versatile that there's so much you can
Yeah.
do in that game. Like you could be playing capture the flag. You could just be building stuff. You could be playing with friends. You could be playing solo. There's like a million mods for it. There's so much you could be doing in that game and it's so cheap. You know, like that. I think that's part of why it's so popular. Is it's so cheap and it runs on anything, or at least it used to. I don't know. I actually have no idea what's going on in current Minecraft. You could have told me they shut that game down a year ago. I'd be like, really?
We have
Like
we have the Realm subscription, which is like $8 a month, and he can just download whatever he wants at any point. So.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
There's like 150 worlds that they have that like it's almost like Xbox whatever they call it, the Xbox Live Pass, Game Pass, but for Minecraft. So they're always like cycling in new worlds to texture packs and outfits and all sorts of stuff for like $8 a month.
No kidding.
wow.
So it's not too bad.
I didn't know that.
when my kids were playing, it was a little bit shady because like they allowed like just anybody to create their own server and have like and monetize that server. So like
It
you'd
did, yeah.
you'd get into like some dude's server and like it was completely pay to win in there. And then if all your friends were playing there, that's just where you were, right? Like that's just what Minecraft became. It got a lot of people made a lot of money, but it was kind of shady. Like you didn't really know what was going on. You were downloading like weird packs to like be compatible with the server. Like you didn't really know what was going on.
That reminds me of the Sims days, like when it first came out. I think I was like 9. And people had like download houses and like full built houses and decorations and everything. And I was on the internet like, this house is really pretty. But downloading things back then was very sketchy.
Yeah.
I think I caused a lot of problems with the PC trying to download a new Sims house.
You gotta your McAfee antivirus going.
Yeah, which is now a virus, I think. I think McAfee
probably.
is just a virus in itself.
True.
Adds up.
They
Yeah,
all go
true.
that way. They all end up being really annoying.
That's the
Yeah.
business model, right?
Pop-ups and
Yeah, and good luck uninstalling them as well.
Yeah. no.
Right. Do you remember they used to come like pre-installed on computers? So like,
Yep.
and then you couldn't get them off. Like you could, but they made it intentionally difficult to get them off.
Mhm.
And then even if you did delete it, it'd like come up like a month later, like, hey, remember me? I'm back. Anyhow, should we talk about some Destiny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so.
We got a TWAB. We got a developer update about weapon balancing this week.
Yep. The mid-season update thingamabob.
yeah. I can't call it TWID yet. It's just not. It's too.
I don't
new.
like it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm TWAB. I'm old school. That's how we know the old school players from the new school, right? It's like the
That's
kids all
true.
say TWID and the oldsters all say TWAB.
If they say TWID, we don't do raids with them.
That's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
I
We
still call it
segregate.
primary and secondary, and people get mad at me.
Yes.
Well, because
That
it
makes more
went
sense.
primary,
It makes more
secondary,
sense.
then it went kinetic, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
energy, and then it kind of went back.
Kinetic, strand, stasis, or energy slot.
Yeah, that was a disaster.
The one at the top, that one.
The one at the top, yeah.
Number 1,
Uh,
number 2,
We also had the exotic quest come out.
we did.
Oh yeah, I
New
didn't do this.
exotic.
What's going on
Haven't
here?
had a chance yet.
Well, you gotta go
you,
fishing.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to get the exotic fish. No, but Brian.
You
Here's
don't
the
have
thing.
to.
I didn't do it, and as long as someone else has done it, they can open the gateway for you to go into the area and do the exotic. So,
Oh, do they have to be in your party or just like some random person can do it?
no, you got to be in a fight team. You got to
Okay.
do the deep dive mission. There's these little hive statues that are. Are they the same as the ones in King's Fall, the raid?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
opening of King's Fall. Those little like totems. They're like
Or
these
the
hive-
Court of Oryx for the OGs.
Oh.
Yeah, the Court of Oryx. Yeah. So I don't know why Zivu is tied to exotic fish. I haven't quite looked into that yet.
Does she?
a good
Maybe
question.
she has an army of fish. Maybe she commands the seas.
Yeah, so we have to kill fish
like
and then
Aquaman.
present them.
Yeah.
Like,
just like
this was just Bungie like reacted to the community. Like we all saw the strangers fish, not ghost, and everybody freaked out and said, "I want it." And they're like, "Oh, people like fish."
And then we
And
didn't
the
see
monkey
anything
paw
about it for like what, 3 years?
closed.
Fishing.
That's
So you
hilarious.
get these exotic fish, and then you dunk them in your aquarium, and then you get something called a broken blade. And then you go and take the broken blade, you dunk them on the statues. There'll be 3. There's 4 exotic fish total, but you only need 3 of them. And then doing that opens up a different section of deep dive for you to do this
Yeah.
exotic quest, which is timed. Timed quest is back.
Yep.
And it's pretty chaotic in there.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, so I didn't get to experience it without like being backseated about it. So someone guided me through. So we did it the first time, but I think people who were first experiencing it probably had to repeat it, right?
Yeah, when I was watching people, really good players, they're streaming it. They normally had to do it one more time because they weren't prepared for
What's
something
that?
being
What to do?
timed
Yeah.
and something. So what it is in there? There's a tormentor. It's a boss tormentor that you have to kill, but you have to kill.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
kill
Jay.
minotaurs.
Spoilers. Mute yourself. We'll
Spoilers.
give this. We'll give the signal when we're
We'll
done.
give this thing. Okay. You have to kill minotaurs to get a buff, which allows you to do damage to the tormentor. So
okay.
Yeah.
if you kill a minotaur and then you die, you're back to doing 0 freaking damage. So it's very chaotic. You're running around
Oh,
all
is
over
that
the
how
map.
it worked? I never
Mhm.
died. Too good at
Yeah.
the game.
Oh.
Yeah, if
That's
you
never
die,
good
you
for
lose
you.
your damage. So people are
Oh, right.
using divinity because tormentors have a crit spot that's very hard to hit. Divinity with just like Thunderlord or something like that works
Yeah,
really well.
that's what
But
we
yeah,
do.
it's chaotic because you're just like splitting up trying to find these minotaurs. You're getting hit by everything. You're like, I can't die because I'm gonna lose the
Yeah.
buff. And then he's chasing you around everywhere. The tormentor suppressing you and beating your ass. So yeah, it's definitely chaotic.
Yeah.
We got it done first time, but yeah, if you're just like,
And
we're going into deep dive, you don't
yeah,
expect to need a
blind. Yeah.
divinity and fighting a tormentor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Exactly. And it was an interesting mission. And surprise, surprise, Zivu was kind of like, violence. Yes. Yes. Enact violence. It was kind of you playing into what she wanted. Question mark.
Well, I
Well, we
mean,
know
we
sort of
can
Zivu
what I-
wants
only
that.
interact with the world through our gun. So,
Bullets, yeah.
fairness to us,
Yeah.
like we don't have a lot of choices.
There's no Care Bear like light ray that we can get like love and
Yeah.
happiness.
We really only have like one mode, and that's destroy everything.
And
Do-
she
do
gets
you remember-
strong with violence. So
Do you remember Rise of Iron where you could what are those medallions? You could melee an enemy and they'd become an ally? Do you remember
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm. I remember.
That's what we need. We need that back. We just ally. Make everyone friends again.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of fun. I
I've
don't remember it
forgotten all
working
about
that
that.
well. Like they weren't very good allies.
It was just
Yeah,
part of the
I don't-
story, wasn't
They
it?
were great.
What's that?
It was just like part of the story, right? Or could you take it into?
No,
I
it
think you
was
could use it
There was
anywhere.
like an artifact
what were
that you
those
could do it
things
in like
called? Were they
strikes.
called
It,
artifacts?
it was like
Yeah.
a medallion of
yeah.
some sort. It was
Yeah.
basically an artifact or whatever.
You could equip it, and that was the same thing that gave you, your supercharging in the trials, and people were real mad
Like
about that because
Radagast and
people
all
would
that.
just sit in the back of the map charging their
Right.
Forgotten
supers.
all about
Oh,
that.
good days. But how much better
Yeah.
was Destiny 1, right?
I will say about the new exotic mission, even
Mm.
though I haven't had a chance to run it yet. I jumped in Tuesday, obviously not knowing about it yet, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're fishing." And then people are like, "There's an exotic mission." I'm like, "Where?" And they're like, "You can't do it. You haven't caught the fish yet." Like, okay. I wish they would have let us know like beforehand that you would need to catch the exotic fish to do.
I feel like the community kind of knew, though, right?
They knew
Yeah.
because
Don't
when
you
they
watch
dunked-
Aztecs Ross's videos?
They knew because when you dunk the exotic fish, you get the broken blade, and then they're like, "Oh, and there's
time
statues
gated,
on the
yeah.
broken blade."
Yeah. People thought it was time gated pretty quick once they got like one broken blade 1 week. Like, okay, we're gonna have to do this 3 times or whatever.
somebody's
So,
saying
I love
everybody knew. I didn't know.
Some people are just
So not
poor
everybody,
at-
asshole.
Yeah, not everybody.
I was too busy doing raids and stuff.
Do you remember a time where you would work stuff out for yourself in Destiny and not just wait for the latest video to come out and go, okay, that's how you do it, and then just go immediately do it?
I mean, that to me is kind of the fun part, right? Like,
It was.
I
the
would
fun
like
part.
to do the try and figure it out myself, and then I'll go watch videos to like see how to do it correctly. You know what I mean? Like the optimized path, if you will.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
like raid one day one raids, like trying to explain how we did a raid on day one, and then watching how it was done 3 days later once everybody kind of figured it out, it was completely different. And we were just like we were blindly stumbling through these raids, and like half the time we didn't really even know what the mechanic was. We just we bumped blindly bumped into the correct answer by mistake, but didn't really know why. But we knew that if we kept doing it that way, Like eventually it
Yeah.
would work. You know? Like,
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do is day one raids. You get the footage. I make a lore video, and then 3 years later, someone goes, why are you so bad at the raids?" I'm like, bro, it had been out for literally 30 minutes. We were working it out as it was happening.
Yep.
So you get an exotic scout rifle.
An exotic scout rifle.
No spoilers, Jay. You get an exotic
Yeah,
scout
no, I
rifle
know.
from
Thanks, Twitter.
You do get an exotic scout. It is
which
a
is
stasis.
Stasis.
Is it
It
good?
is a
Which
oh, interesting.
I don't think it's very good in PvP. We did muck around with it in that, but I think it is Bungie doing the balance between like abilities and builds and weapons. I feel like in a stasis build, I've heard that it can be quite good, especially for champions and GMs. Like it has a lot of utility, but it's not. I think what people expect from
not
exotics is
sexy.
just. It's not straight out nutty, you know. And I think
Yeah.
people expect every exotic to be just completely batshit broken, and it's an exotic that's got to go into a stasis build and seems like it will be pretty functional in GMs, and that's sort of my reaction so far.
The thing that's kind of cool about it is that so you can slow people in PvP with it, but normally you'd have to kill them and then hit someone else for the amount of bullets to
Enough
kind of stack
precision,
up.
whatever. Yeah.
But what is cool about it is the shards that you get every time you kill someone, you will get a shard, and that works with all of your stasis aspect and fragment stuff.
Yeah.
So like overshields, getting cooldowns back, all that stuff works with the gun. So in that, and it just you get it automatically. Like I'm pretty sure there's no range of when you get it. You don't even need the thing. You don't need the fragment where the shards track to you. It just automatically kind of gives it to you. So
Oh, that's good.
there's some good build opportunity with
This is
that.
a silly question because I haven't used it on stasis build yet. Does it impact all the shards that you make, or is it only shards made by the weapon itself?
All of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you mean. You don't need that. You don't need that thing on.
You don't know. It will automatically make shards when you get kills.
Track to you. That's pretty big.
Yeah, you
That's
don't
actually
need the
pretty
tracking
useful.
thing. Yeah, you don't need it. So you can get all the overshields and everything. Good synergy with stasis. So if you're someone who like generally you like stasis, you like scout rifles, you'll probably have a good time with it. In PvP, like in terms of it's a 180 scout rifle, so it's actually not bad in terms of just how it feels. It's just maybe not super often that you're gonna get the slow because you need to be hitting one person and then hit
Yeah, you're
another
not
person.
getting any benefit from the exotic perk on it,
But
really.
you're at least getting the shard benefits. So if
Yeah.
you want to make a
Yeah.
build with that, that could be fun.
To be
Mhm.
fair, the last couple of times we had missions like this in D1, they were weapons that were pretty incredible for a
They
long
were,
time.
yeah.
So I don't
Mm.
mind them taking chances with like different builds and stuff like that. But is there like where do you see this being used as like a
I'm assuming
choice weapon?
GMs, right?
Yeah, I think GMs,
Mostly
especially when
GMs.
you've got like the scout mods for stuff, right? And then it will be like, oh, throw that one on because you get the stasis benefit for champions and you get the scout benefit.
Mm. Like
Could be
I
good in like
don't
master raids
think.
too, I guess. But
I wonder if it would be any good in raids. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot when it comes to an exotic scout. I don't know. I don't know if it would be. I'd have to play around with it more, and I haven't really. I need to revisit Stasis. I haven't played around with Stasis in a long time. Strand. I mean, Strand is so powerful in GMs. It's hard to
So good.
take
but
Strand off.
you don't
Uh,
have to run stasis for it to slow, correct?
No, it will
So it
slow
no.
takes, I
regardless.
mean, for things like master raids, then you can take some of that away because like stasis is really good for master raids for like ad control,
Hmm.
especially like warlock turret nades and stuff like that. So if you can free up ability slots and then use the slow weapon, it could be beneficial potentially for ad
Yeah.
control there. But
Does slow synergize with the warlock necrotic grips? Does that spread?
I do not know that for sure.
I don't play warlocks. I don't
I
know.
haven't played with stasis in a while since Master Vogue really is when I used it the most.
Right. Chat says
Good.
nope. Okay.
It's pretty solid. It's a if you like scout rifles, you'll probably like this scout rifle. And if you like stasis, then you will probably be having a pretty good time because it's gonna synergize well with what you already like using.
Yeah. I think Stasis is like slowly creeping back into the meta. I need to like revisit Stasis. I think occasionally I'll catch PvP players with Stasis that are doing really well. I'm like, I might need to look at another Stasis build again.
It's pretty. The scout rifle is actually kind of nice with Bacchus because Bacchus, of course, has the thing where you dodge and then you can't get your dodge back for a while. And then there's fragments and stuff that it when you get a shard, it
Gives you energy
restores
back.
your
Yeah.
dodge. Yeah, so
Oh.
it'll be pretty good with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing we haven't mentioned is Bungie had a round table essentially with media, games media. So we saw articles from PC Gamer, Games Radar, Press Starts, is
Dexerto.
it Dexterito, however you say it. And they had conversations about the reception of Lightfall and also the community being angry about retcons in general. So I do have some information
Interesting.
It was
on
very
that.
interesting. Yeah, Mylan's got the notes.
I got
So,
the notes.
take us through
To
these
be honest,
interviews.
a lot of them really said the same thing in different ways. All the articles were on a fairly similar track, but the thing about the retcon, they gave the example of the unveiling lore book, because that's sort of the current hot topic in the lore community at the moment. That when the witnesses origin story came out and was talking about the gardener being the traveler, people obviously associated that with the unveiling lore book, because in the unveiling lore book it has the gardener and the winnower, and that's like the Bible. It's the creation story of the universe kind of deal.
Yep.
And people were like, okay, so the witness wrote that, or the witness influenced that, or the witness is involved with that story, and does that mean that that story is just all lies? And I think people were originally okay with like, oh yeah, this is like an allegory, but then we sort of went to the Black Garden and we saw some of the things in the book. Like we saw the stump and the Tree of Silver Wings, and we're like, oh shit, you know, we live in a fantasy universe. Maybe this book is true. And then the witness cutscene came out and sort of threw that all up in the air again. They basically confirmed that, yeah, it is an allegory by the witness. And I think the quote's pretty interesting if you want to bear with it, and I can read you the quote if you like.
Yeah, please
So
do.
this is from PC Gamer. It says, welcome to the problem that all Bible scholars have been trying to figure out. What may or may not have happened, and lining that up with actual historical events, says senior narrative designer Robert Brooks. Unveiling is a parable. It is effectively a religious text. How much of that is propaganda? How much of that is myth? How much of that is fact is deeply unclear in the nature of the text. Brooks notes that the
Wait, the Bible's
unveiling
not
first...
true?
Right, this is why... Brooks notes that the unveiling first dropped. Players did take it as literal gospel truth. Players believed it to be 100% fact. There was a literal gardener, and there was a literal winnower. And now it's starting to become clear that those may not actually be just concrete ideas, but metaphors or things that are far less concrete and clear. As we get closer to the final shape, more answers of that will still come up. And the final shape, of course, will have a lot of answers about the nature of those conflicts. Brooks refused to offer any more hints on how this will be resolved, except that the contradictory nature has always kind of been intentional. Whatever the witness says, maybe don't trust it. So, does it make it better or worse? And I think there's a lot of nuance here with.
Can I ask a question before you continue?
Yeah.
But so, like you just said, we saw some of the stuff that he told us about. So how do they explain that?
Well, I mean, I have a theory on that, and I think
okay,
what is going to happen is when the witness discovered the veil, which we suspecting is like contains the memories of the universe. The witness gets an insight into the creation of the universe, and so that's one way you could explain how some things are true and some things aren't. And the witness goes, "Okay, well, I'm going to tell the Guardian a story about the creation." I'm going to give things names. There's going to be some aspects of truth to it. There's going to be some aspects of me just lying to try to convince the Guardian of my viewpoint of the world. But yeah, one of the things that could be true is the Tree of Silver Wings and how this is stumped. But I'm going to make up a whole story about how these cosmic beings fought to snap the tree in half. So that's a way you can blend parts that are true and parts that aren't true, and how you link it back to the witness telling that story. I think I've been trying to think why unveiling sits so weird for me, because I talked about this in a video recently, because Witch Queen did something similar, right? Witch Queen took the Books of Sorrow and kind of like twisted it, and it took aspects that happened in the Books of Sorrow and it pretty much told us, oh, that was like perspective. That was kind of a lie. It's not exactly what happened. And nearly unanimously, people were quite receptive and quite positive about Witch Queen. You do the same thing with unveiling and people were like, not so happy. And I think there are a number of things going on. I think one is they haven't given a reason to why the motivations behind the witness giving us his book. When it comes to Witch Queen, it kind of gave that explanation. It said, oh, the witness made this lie because it wanted to claim the Hive for themselves. Whereas we go to unveiling and it just kind of says the witness lied or the witness made the story. It doesn't say like, well, why does it care about giving us a Bible? Like, why did it? And if that's not explored, I think people, because we're getting towards the end of the saga, people are kind of like, stop bringing up, like, you just made more questions. Like, yeah. Okay, so the answer is the witness gave us the Bible. Why? Like, finish that sentence, please. Like, come on. And I think for me, anyway, my gut reaction is we're not going to get the answer to that. It's just going to stay in the realm of, is an allegory. The witness just, I don't know, gave us that. It just gave us that religious text for
whatever something like this happens. I wonder, like, oh well, did the previous writers go to work on a new project and the new writers kind of like, tried to pick up where they left off, but maybe they,
I mean, that's what you start to feel like, right?
Yeah.
Like like Witch Queen feels an evolution of the story, whereas unveiling feels like trying to take some things back because it's not quite what we want to write. And that is the case for everything. Like, that's why you have retcons, is you want your narrative team to have freedom to do stuff. But there's this real fine line between feeling like it evolves the story and feels like it rewrites the story.
Right.
And the difference between that, I think, is the reasoning behind it. And we don't have the reasoning for it yet. And then when you see the witness in game, the witness doesn't give a shit about you. The witness didn't give a shit about Callus. So why would the witness want to convince us of anything?
Deception.
So why give us the Bible of the universe? If
the witness, I guess, cared when they appeared to us as ourselves and they were like, oh, we are your salvation. The darkness is your salvation.
Yeah. Okay. So that line of thinking makes sense, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I hope, for me, I think if it goes down the line of trying to convince us to join the witness's side and see their point of view, then I can see how unveiling sits into that.
Yeah.
But we kind of just saw the witness make a portal and then disappear.
Don't go in the funny fanny.
Into the funny fanny.
The way in which they told the story in Witch Queen felt a lot different to me. Like the presentation and the production and the all that kind of stuff. It felt more cinematic, I suppose. And leading into the final moments of that story, it felt more dramatic than like what's happening right now.
The lie was such a reveal.
Yeah.
That like
Yeah.
it was so
more engaging.
juicy, right? It was like, oh,
It was juicy.
damn. That's shit. And they didn't do that for this one.
No,
like
it
didn't
feels like more of the same as to what we've had the last pieces coming together. Just it doesn't feel like it's the end yet still to me.
And I also think I think what happens as well in the context of the reception of Lightfall and how that added more questions too. I think when you're in that like mind frame of like receiving Lightfall and then you get like a witness origin reveal and it just adds more questions again and
Yeah.
it potentially discredits something else. It kind of gives that vibe that what I think is that Lightfall was kind of like a soft reset. It doesn't feel like the end of the Light vs. Dark saga. It feels like the beginning of the Final Shape saga.
Yes.
And,
yes,
Yeah.
and like
100%.
an entry point to new players, an entry point to returning players, and that's why Lightfall is the kind of the way it is, and that's what they spoke about too, actually, in these
Okay.
articles.
Some juicy stuff in there.
Yeah, it's pretty much repeated multiple times that it was very intentional that a lot of narrative threads were left unresolved. It was very intentional that Lightfall would pose a lot of questions that would be answered from season to season, and that they think the story narrative is probably the best they have between seasons coming up to Final Shape, and that it is probably not consecutive. It's coherence not the right word either, but like each season is going to keep adding to the story.
Oh, it's not
leading
just
up
going to
to
be
the
like random vignettes.
Like,
yeah,
we're
basically.
pirates, and this
Yeah.
was attack.
Yeah. So they
That's
they
encouraging.
believe what the seasons will be, and I mean, I think season 8 was really good, and it does add to the overall story. And I think if they keep doing that, like this as a product will be good. And I think the comment I have about that is, I don't think people dispute seasons should be build up to the finale. I think people really expectation of an expansion is that it doesn't start that journey. And
Yes.
and they actually sort of say they were experimenting with that. So I've got a couple quotes that pretty much says that. This is from Games Radar. It says Bungie leads addressed criticism of Lightfall's story and explained that the expansion was partly a narrative experiment meant to set up more engaging seasons for the current year.
Yeah, I think my problem with it is that I was super excited for Lightfall to get some answers. Wasn't expecting all of them because it's not the final shape.
Mhm.
But we didn't really get any answers. They just gave us more questions and introduced a different thing with the veil. And now we've got like the Cloud Striders and all this stuff. So I feel like if they had answered some questions and then they had left more things on the table and then the seasons kind of dealt with that leading up to final shape, I think that would have been fine. But I left Lightfall being like, huh, what do you mean? What does this mean?
Lightfall was just confusing to me. It's like I really like from the trailers that they were putting out, I like really expected to be like, okay, this is gonna be like, you know, we're leading up to the finale here, and we're really in it now. And then to
Yeah.
just like kind of like, here's a MacGuffin, like this is like a huge. It leans so heavily on that MacGuffin too, because like the whole mission path ended up being about the veil, which never ever got explained in any way. Like, you know, and then introducing new characters, which, you know, weren't very strong. You know, it was a tough campaign coming after Witch Queen, you know?
It was. And I think also like veil containment. So many people didn't even know that veil containment was a thing or that they should like revisit it every week to get some dialogue. I don't think that is a very strong way to give us story. Like, hey, go to this area and like listen to some chat logs. I don't think is the most engaging way to give us quite important story beats. And I think that yeah, go for it.
Sorry, so that they said that those veil containments will continue throughout the entire season of Deep.
Yeah.
Even though the story's finished, like one of the quotes is that they're still going to go, and in season 22 and 23, they will lead into the dive into the final shape.
You know that feeling when you're playing like an RPG or something, and like you watch a cutscene where it's like you're literally like facing off with the big bad, and like the whole world is at stake. And then the next thing you do is go run a bunch of side quests that don't relate to it at all. And you just have this feeling like, well, I got this huge thing like hanging over my head, but I'm just going to ignore that while I go like talk to this person and find their chickens. And
I got to go fishing.
Yeah, go fishing. And like I got a real feeling of that. It's like the beginning of the Lightfall, like cutscenes and all that. Like, okay, here we are. The ships are here. These Dorito ships that we've been seeing for 6 years are here. Like, we are in deep shit. Like, it's seriously time. And then we just fucked off to Neomuna.
It feels like they're stretching it out for the final shape, to be honest. Like, that's going to be the come home moment. And a lot of this feels unsatisfying because it's not what we want,
Yeah.
and I hope that final shape is going to give us that
God, I
piece
hope they answer
so that we
questions.
can so that we can feel satisfied in what's happening right now.
I don't
That would
have my,
make
I'm
Knowing
not holding my
Bungie.
breath.
Well, I think it'll be fine because
Uh,
this is the cadence of expansions. We go
yeah,
good expansion, bad expansion, good expansion, bad expansion, good expansion, bad
You're not
expansion. So
wrong.
like
Yeah.
from a money
final shape will be
perspective,
fine.
none of them are bad expansions because they keep the hype and then they go to the next one where they may have used a little less resources for it, and then they lead into the next one so they can keep the hype. It's like, oh, we're at kind of a low point dip right now, and here comes the climax. You can't miss it. So
Yeah.
And
So
I gotta say that, like, I am actually super happy with the seasons building up to the big expansion and it kind of answering stuff throughout it. But I
yeah,
think that ultimately, the big expansion that people are shelling out a lot of money for does need to be a complete story in itself
yeah,
as well. So you
yeah.
can have
That
extra questions you're not answering, you can lead up to stuff, you can hint at things, but it still needs to be a full experience.
yeah,
Yeah. What
and
else do they say, Mal?
oh yeah. Okay, I got the quote here about
Give it.
the final shape. It says the veil containment quest, which people don't understand. If you don't know
People
what we're
don't even know what
talking
it
about,
is or know where it is, what it is.
yeah, do you know
Should it
why?
exist?
Because it looks like a weekly campaign mission. It,
It
it is
does.
it is a quest that you have to start. I can't remember how it starts out. I think it's with Nimbus, and he gives you that hand cannon that's on all the Lightfall posters,
Right.
and
Yep.
yeah, that's how you get it. And once you get that, you can go there weekly, and it's down the bottom left-hand corner of Neomuna. It looks like a weekly mission. It says Veil Containment. Teleports you there, and you listen to a terminal, and it gives you the history of Neomuna and information about the Veil, right? So they said this. This is from Press Start. The Veil Containment quest that's available now has a content that runs for the entirety of Season of the Deep's calendar. There will also be entries at the start of the next 2 seasons. And I think those are going to be revelatory, not just for the Witness, the Traveler, and the Black Fleet, but also for some stories that will be coming up after the final shape.
After the final shape.
That's
After the final
that's
shape.
kind of crazy to me. I'm going to be honest because I think it's kind of crazy that that big of reveals are happening on a mission that doesn't even look like you should be doing it. That people don't know about and it just gives you chat logs.
You know what's more crazy?
What
Is that this stuff's the seasons disappear. So at
they
some point,
do.
it's going to be Lightfall sitting by itself with a big gap and then final shape. And people are going to be like,
True.
huh?
Oh, that's they've got Veil Containment, Mylan. Neomoon is still there. They can go listen to the chat log.
Will it? Will that remain?
you got to go
I
back
don't
and watch your
know.
videos, Mylan.
Profits. Everything you missed between Lightfall and final shape. And
Yep.
I honestly I get, I know we're being pretty harsh. I get the reasoning.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things I didn't quite address is I don't think people had an issue with expansions being the big finale, the big conclusion, and being that complete story. And they did an experiment, and they kind of just made it the beginning of a story. And I just think, in the context of 8 years of lore and story, we kind of expected it to be a nice little conclusion and then lead into final shape. And it just obviously it wasn't that.
How do we feel about the potential of, we know that there's more stuff coming after final shape, but what if they were starting to communicate that it's going to be the beginning of the end for Destiny as a whole?
You
What do you
mean like
mean?
they're just gonna stop making new Destiny content?
Well, that they're going to, part of me, I don't know if I hope for it or not at this point, but part of me feels like the final shape is it's going to be like the precipice, and then like everything after it's going to be kind of fading us out, like a conclusion
I mean,
Oh,
they have said there's more Destiny to come after the
Yeah,
final shape.
100%.
I
But they
I
haven't
think
alluded to how much more
no,
than
they haven't. But
2025. What's the
my
2024,
suspicion
2025?
is though is what we'll see is like either during the final shape or after the final shape, they will introduce a new saga. And whether that's like leaving the solar system or they'll introduce something more because I mean this thing is so big. They're not just gonna shut it down.
I do think post final shape. I'm really interested. Man, I'll be there with me coffee at whatever hour in the morning watching the showcase in August is
Yep.
going when they talk about post final shape because a lot of people in my community and the general sentiment, like I think people are like, I'm here until I see a conclusion. Like, yeah, I guess I'm here
Okay.
now. I've invested 8 years,
Yeah.
and like I'm ready to move on with my life and see my family again. Okay, and touch grass.
Yeah.
So I would suspect that Bungie probably has that feeling too, right? They know that people that post final shape it either needs to be something big. And I do think we need to leave the system. We need new enemies. And part of me also thinks that everything needs to Strand and Stasis. Like, I'll reset their abilities too. Like, I feel like Bungie's learned so much about abilities and
yeah.
weapon balancing, and you can see that in Strand. You can see that in the new subclasses that just kind of get it right, and then you've got all these old busted light subclasses.
This is what we
that are
thought
still...
coming into Destiny 2, though, right? It's like this is exactly
True.
they've learned so much in Destiny 1 about abilities and about
True.
weapon balancing. Like it's gonna be so different in Destiny 2.
I mean, from a base gameplay perspective, Destiny 2 is a triumph over Destiny 1.
It's
As
a
much
what?
as
I'm
I
sorry.
do prefer
Triumph.
a lot of Destiny 1 things and the grindability over D2, but like as a
Did you
game,
say it was a triumph over Destiny 1?
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
didn't hear you. So.
yeah. I mean, so many things are better playability, experience wise, and all that stuff in D2 over D1, but I still love D1, like so I don't know. I don't know if there's gonna be a D3.
Yeah, True Vanguard likes to like refer to this as D3. I don't know that there will be a D3, but there needs to be a big evolution in
Freshness.
Destiny.
It needs to
Freshness
be
to
like
it.
a kind of reset to it, right? I think
Right.
it would probably help with story too, right? Because they've got all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
If they
Right,
could
a new
just
entry
start a
point.
new
Like
story, a new
here is a
saga.
perfect
Yeah.
time. Like
Yeah.
how hard is it for a new Destiny player to come in, right? It's like you don't know where to start. Like, some of the story is just kind of missing. It's like it's really kind of weird. So like if they could just like the end of the Light and the Dark saga, boom. Then we got the next thing, right? And like the next thing
Yeah.
is a perfect
Yeah.
time to join, into
Yeah.
the Destiny 2.
Yeah, I agree. And I think worst case scenario is they just decide to coax and just milk it and keep doing the same stuff after final shape just to keep money running in until their next IP and marathon whatever hopefully takes off. But I feel like that would be a big risk, to be honest, to
It
not
is a big risk, yeah.
try to
Yeah.
really shake it up and to bring people back into Destiny after everything that they've done with it. So I do hope that there would be a big shake up post final shape to make the game, feel like a different game.
I mean,
Even
there
though
are
I don't think it'll be
gamers-
Destiny 3. Yeah.
There are gamers who just weren't like, I mean, your son is 7 years old and like could potentially be playing Destiny right now, and the game came out before he was born.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
It's like,
I
so there-
started streaming before he was even like conceived. Yeah.
Yeah, at some point, like you want to like create an entry point for new players.
Sure.
Yeah, you do.
To be clear,
And you
I'm
want to get
not-
rid of the stigma of the previous games, because if you watch any big streamer like the Shrouds, whatever, their impression of Destiny is still how Destiny 2 launched.
Yep.
Yeah. a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
Yep.
make it clear that I'm not like hoping for the conclusion or for things to die.
The
or
death of
anything like
Destiny.
this.
You're
Yeah,
you're
no.
you're hoping.
No.
I'm gonna
I-
title it right now. Actually,
Jay
Jay is
wants Destiny
hoping
to
for the
die.
death of Destiny. The one where Jay
He-
hates Destiny.
He hates Destiny and
Yeah.
Destiny devs.
It's the only game I play. I hate it. It's so I hate it. It's my favorite game.
Yeah. There is a final paragraph here, which maybe this will summarize everything we've spoken about and conclude this segment. And yeah, it's a good summary. So this is also from Press Start, and it says, in a lot of our previous releases, the seasons ramp up to a major expansion, which is kind of like the end of that story. The next set of seasons start a new one. We saw this with Beyond Light and The Witch Queen. Lightfall is a bit of a different experience in that it isn't just another ramp up, it's a bridge. There's the fallout, the deconstruction of events that happened and the way that characters react to it. Each season will hand off to the next more immediately than before. We want it to be the same when we hand off the final shape into what comes next. Which I hope doesn't mean final shape won't give us a good conclusion, but
It has to. It has to. The end of the Light and Dark saga.
yeah.
It has
Yeah.
to.
Lightfall didn't feel like a
Yeah.
bridge. It felt more like a fork. You know, it was like like a detour, you know?
The beginning of the what saga? If it's the end of the Light and Dark saga, what is it going to begin? Have they
No.
alluded to anything in any of the story and lore at this point?
I mean, the 9 have been pretty suspicious at the moment. I think it could be, you could start going into full Cosmo aliens,
Good.
just
yeah.
I
super
feel like
fantasy.
words like that are kind of sneakily foreshadowing in a bit to me. The end of
Can
this
be.
saga, like where is it gonna, I don't know. Interesting.
The 9 have always been around when there's been comments about the light and the dark and what it means. There've been these cosmic beings that kind of understand that top-down view, and that's what the prophecy dungeon was about. Which, by the way, here's a nice cool thing I discovered this week. The prophecy dungeon.
Mhm.
It foreshadows what happened in Lightfall and Final Shape. It has the triangle with the circle around it,
Oh,
like in the final
right.
boss room. And I was like, whoa, it's a portal. And you can literally go through it.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's
Damn.
pretty
That's
cool.
pretty cool. What does it mean? You find out next season.
There was one thing in this whole interview narrative thing about the Hive, which
Yeah, it
is what
was
I
actually.
saw
I missed
people
that. Yeah.
being upset about, actually.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
People are
I
upset.
got some quotes for this too.
Yeah, hit us with the quote. This is the thing. This is how I knew that
The genocide thing. I got the quote.
the article was even happened, that an interview happened, because everyone was like, "You kidding me? Seriously?" That's so.
So this was in Dextero. How do you say it? Dextero. I always say Dextero. Doesn't matter.
Dextero.
Anyway,
Dexterous.
it says, well, don't hold your breath too much. In an interview with us in a roundtable, senior narrative designer Robert Brooks spoke about the chance. He said the Hive has still committed a lot of, genocide.
This is about
in
us
relation
being allies
to
with the
allies
Hive.
with the Hive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then everyone's
Look,
like,
we live in a
Cabal,
world
Elixir.
where like every country on Earth has done a lot of genocide. We're like
How about us?
know.
Yeah, shooting everything. Yeah. I found it. I haven't really looked into it, but I found it really odd because if you didn't want us to think like that, why do you keep humanizing Ziva Wrath? Why did you give us so many emotional lines in Ghost of the Deep? Why did you give us this whole backstory about the Hive being manipulated by the Witness? Like, I know that they've done some pretty bad stuff, but so did the Cabal, so did the Elixir, and so did we.
Yeah.
This is the thing, right? Is that out of all of these people, the Hive, I think, are probably the ones I feel the most sorry for, because they were
True.
going through a lot of bad stuff. The Witness came along, offered them a lifeline by lying to them, put worms in them that forced them to feed the worms so they don't die, whereas everyone else is just going around killing stuff for fun.
Not true. The Elixir were trying. I mean, it's the same story. Everyone was just trying to survive, right? That's the
Right.
whole moral here. Is we just do bad shit to try to survive, which is same as what Guardians do.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. They are on the scale of like beings killed. The Hive are probably up there with their conquest. So I kind of get that, but it's weird to say they're not going to be an ally because I think Sabathin's already been an ally. It just depends on your definition of ally. Like she's helped us.
Yeah.
She already has, and I think it's anyway. I thought it was a very odd comment. I haven't really given it much more thought.
It's very weird. I found it strange because yeah, like you said, we've had this whole thing with Savathun. We found out that she helped humanity during the collapse. She hid the veil from the witness, and you're now
True.
hinting towards her again having to be
We need
our
help.
salvation. So how are we not working with the Hive if Savathun is like this person we need so badly? And like you said, with the Zivu Arath writing as well, and I feel bad for them.
Messing with me
They're
emotions.
like,
And
they're too bad though. So
do you know what? You know what also felt really weird? In the same article, they spoke about Savathun and her role in the next seasons, and they were kind of really talking it down. They're like, don't expect too much from Savathun. She's not going to be a centerpiece. I'm like, hold on. But there's a portal we know nothing about. You've just told us she has the answers. She kinda
Literally-
needs to be the centerpiece at some point.
What's her name? Just last week it was like, we need to bring her back. Like, oh.
yeah, it was literally last week for the season finale was
Yeah.
us learning that Savathun has the answers we need in order to fight this thing.
So look, I really hope this is not like them hinting at this being off screen, and that's why they're sort of playing down the Hive ally kind of deal, because
Yeah.
I think everyone is expecting to see Savathun in the flesh be resurrected and be a centerpiece for a season.
Yeah.
And to give us some answers about the veil and the portal.
And I'm expecting her to speak to Zivu Arath and explain about all the history of like how you were deceived by the witness to talk Zivu Arath into like leaving the witness's side. So
It's also possible to be empathetic with somebody, but not want to be like, besties with them, right? It's like,
right, you
exactly.
don't
you hear about a murderer who did awful things, and then you hear about his awful childhood, and be empathetic for like, what made him a murderer, made him or her a
see
murderer,
how you got
right?
there.
Like, see how you got there, but still not want them to get out of jail, right? Like,
Right.
both things are possible.
you don't get a place in the city. I'm not going to give you the Hive quarter. You don't get an Elixir quarter. But
I'm not gonna,
I see.
we're not going to be roomies.
That's more sympathy than empathy, to be honest.
What's that?
True.
That's like more sympathy than empathy. Like you feel bad
Sure.
for them, but you don't want to relate to them. Like,
True.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see.
we'll see, yeah. But
It
yeah,
would be
all
very
of the
upsetting.
all the writing they've done has leaned us into thinking that that's what's gonna happen. So
I'm just picturing Savathun in a Santa Claus chair. Like, come on, sit on my lap. Let me tell you some stories.
I'm jumping on.
That's a big lap.
You and every other weeb.
Yeah, I'm getting in there.
very interesting.
Right, there you go. There's your weekly drama.
That's pretty good stuff. We got a, what did they call it exactly? A
Developer insight.
yeah. I think we can burn through this really quick.
And this, by the way, it says, hello, everyone. Mercules here. Look at that.
Hey.
It's Mercules. Let's go.
Mercules here. This is a mid-season 21 weapons tuning preview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did they say when
It's
this is going to hit? When this is actually going to drop for us?
I didn't...
Season 22? Yeah.
Well, this is the season 21 mid-season weapon tuning update.
Says they're coming
Mid-season.
22.
So soon then.
So soon.
This one's going to be a smaller mid-season balance pass, and then it says in large part due to the substantial changes in season 22.
Right.
So this isn't going to change a whole lot of stuff, but they do generally do a mid-season kind of tune-in thing. I don't know when that patch is, but soonish.
Soon. Mid-season.
Mid-season. Whenever that is. Whenever the middle of the season is.
We're like there right now, aren't we?
Like now, I think. Probably.
So they go through all the weapon archetypes that they're talking about. Pulse rifles are getting nerfed.
Yep.
Aim assist. Yeah.
In
PvP.
Yeah.
Lightweight bows are getting buffed.
They are indeed.
Which is good.
Yep.
Submachine guns, they are basically, I guess they were talking about like how it's too cluttered when you use the new dynamic reticle. So they're using thinner lines. They're doing some font work.
It's very thick. Yeah, it kind of covers like the entire screen when you're using shaders.
Yeah, they haven't worked out that everyone's old now who's still playing Destiny.
I mean, you guys don't take like a permanent marker and mark the reticle on your screen?
My monitor
it-
has an option
does
for
that.
that.
It
Yeah,
does
mine
that.
too,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I put it on randomly one day and I was like, what the hell is that random dot?
That's how
in the
you-
middle of the screen?
That's how you cheat in games like Tarkov and
No
stuff. It
scope.
doesn't give you an online. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't give you an online reticle. Yeah.
That's what people used to do when we were playing Call of Duty back in the day. They were giving people advice to like, yeah, put a thing on your screen because it's gonna make it easier for you to
Little
go from hip fire to ADS and know where your sight's gonna be.
Yeah.
Little sticky dot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Patrick used to use that actually.
I think he might have actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shotguns. They're buffing lightweight shotguns. They're reducing the spread angle and outer horizontal pellets by 15%.
That's good because it feels like if you're not using is it precision shotguns, whatever Matador is. It feels like if you're not using Matador in PvP, you might as well not be using a shotgun. So
Pretty much, yeah.
Or chaperone
Yeah.
or whatever.
yeah, or a slug. Yeah, that's good.
Exotic weapons. Graviton Lance is getting nerfed,
In PvP.
but buffed.
Nerfed but buff.
Buff.
Yeah. It's getting a PvE buff.
Yeah, and a PvP nerf.
Yes.
So they're increasing PvE damage by 67%. They remove the extra aim assist provided by the catalyst, reduce the damage dealt by the cosmology explosion by 40% against players. Damage in PvE is unchanged.
This thing, if you were standing next to someone who got killed by this thing, it could take you from like 100 to 0.
Yeah.
The cloud
Crazy.
strike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what they said. It's like a primary ammo cloud strike.
It
You know,
is.
I didn't realize the catalyst had aim assist because I actually didn't have the catalyst, and I put Graviton Lance on, and I was like, I can't see where my shots are going. Like, I didn't feel like I was hitting anything. So yeah, maybe I didn't realize I had aim assist on the catalyst. So that's good.
No time
Get it
to
out.
explain because Graviton Lance is getting nerfed. They think that no time to explain might be good, so they're reducing
Man.
range stat by
already.
10%.
Still good.
by
No
10.
time is nutty still.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
No time
it's
is
nutty
good.
now. Like if I usually use my BXR, my crafted BXR, because I just love that gun. But if I go up against a team with no time, I switch to no time because I just get outshot with another pulse rifle straight away with no time. So that might make it a bit better. As in,
Fighting
like,
Lion is
balance
they're
it.
fixing an issue with Fighting Lion, the Chimera perk. Catalyst was an appliance.
making it stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually like works now.
The only time I ever used Fighting Lion was when I was going for the mountaintop back in the day. That was like it.
When
I
you
think
fight
so.
a
I think
team
yes.
that just has Fighting Lion and trials and they're just shooting it nonstop
much
and
damn
it
ammo,
never
yeah.
ends. 'Cause
When
it's
you have a
permanent error.
team that in their spare time play snooker, like professional snooker players, and can literally predict the angle.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Great.
They're doing some stuff to perks. Gut shot straight. They're reducing auto aim penalty by 37.5%. Slick draw. They're reducing auto aim penalty by 33%. And target lock. They're reducing maximum damage versus players from 40 to 25%. Damage in PvE is unchanged.
Seems
So
pretty crazy.
target lock that's definitely good because it has been reigning supreme on many things, immortal, for a while. Gut shot straight, I'm pretty excited about because the
Yeah.
role that I got on Allied Demand, which is the Iron Banner sidearm, I went for gut shot straight and rangefinder because I was like, on a sidearm, I'm not hitting the head anyway. So why do I need to bother going for the headshot? So this is actually going to be pretty nice. I think I'm going to enjoy using that sidearm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be good stuff.
Mhm. I've got a what was the Strand scout rifle from, was it Guardian Games that gave you that?
Oh,
It
yeah,
I've got-
was, yes.
long
I
one.
have
I think
one
I've got
of that as well.
gut shot with explosive. That might be pretty gnarly.
Yeah, that could be good. Hmm
Mm.
I also got I got a bug out bag with gut shot straight, so maybe that will be kind of fun. I got a bunch of SMGs with it on. So
Mm.
yeah, we'll see.
And slick draw, I think everyone was just avoiding slick draw because
Yeah,
it's like you would want a slick draw on a sniper, but then it just tanks your aim assist. So it's like, well, I don't want it anymore.
Yep.
But now it might be interesting to see what it feels like.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The explosive perk, that's different than like Firefly, right? Do you need to get a precision shot for it to explode?
No, it's just like explosive
Just-
rounds, whatever it's
Okay,
called.
yeah. I was thinking in my head like gut shot with explosive would counteract, but I was thinking of like Firefly.
Yeah, you don't have to have a precision shot. Just flinches the hell out of your opponent. It's like get bang,
It does,
bang,
yeah.
bang.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
flinch is crazy.
They go on to talk about the season 22 update. They say they'll have more details to share closer to release. They want to briefly touch on what's going on a high level. One is they're going to reduce the variance between the optimal engagement ranges of our mid-range weapons, auto rifles, pulse rifles, and hand cannons, and slightly reduce the average engagement range in Crucible by pulling the maximum damage fall-off distances of many weapon types.
Interesting.
So
you're going to have to get closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with this after really
Yeah.
stepping back into Crucible. Like, feels like everything could be a little bit closer. So the reasoning sounds right. I don't know if I can't really make comment if this is going to be good or bad. I have to wait and see.
Yeah, I like looking at the ADS damage fall off start distance.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, those numbers do be changing.
They sure are.
Those are different. Those are different numbers.
Yeah.
I wonder how much it's gonna feel different on controller versus keyboard and mouse, because I feel like keyboard and mouse already has kind of a kind of an advantage when it comes to range and
Yeah, definitely.
recoil. So if they're changing that, I feel like it might be a bigger hit to controller. I don't know. Maybe that's what they want.
It could be. I
Yeah.
mean, like
Yeah.
some weapons don't seem to be changing much at all. Like sidearms
Sure.
don't seem to be changing much at all.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't read this. Who understand this table? Do you understand this table? What's like? Can you explain this table to me?
Well, it's
Or no?
you just the old base zoom. So they're also changing rangefinder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're changing zoom, right?
They're
Or,
changing
like, the
zoom in
aim
general.
assist.
And then they're also making changes to rangefinder. So they're kind of just telling you what the zoom is, what it will be eventually, and what it is with rangefinder. So you can go, okay, so my old base with rangefinder is like 18.20, but my new base is going to be 18. Aha,
Long
yes.
story
Numbers are
short,
different.
right? Long story short is they're trying to just bring everything in a tiny bit,
Everything's-
ranges wise.
Yeah,
Those
everything's
two
getting
numbers
brought up.
have to be hip fire versus ADS, right? Like that's what those two numbers have to be.
No, that's like the floor and the ceiling, depending on your perks.
Is it?
I think.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I was trying to figure out why I like.
We'll handle that to the other podcast that covers this kind
Well,
of stuff.
so firing range
Hand
is
off
taking
the
a bit
firing
of a
range.
break. So we
Are
are
they?
the number guys.
We are those people. Okay. Well, can we read the whole paragraph? Can we read the whole paragraph then and see if it makes
Yeah,
sense?
go ahead.
Okay. To do this. YouTube voice. Okay. To do this, the highest achievable damage fall off range on almost all weapon types will be reduced. Okay, the highest achievable damage fall off range. Copy that.
Yep.
To some extent, with certain weapon types being reduced more than others, and in many cases, the lower edge of the damage fall off ranges will be coming up. Below, you will find a table with the current damage fall off start distances. That must be the first number, and with and without rangefinder. Okay. For all primary weapons. And then their values in season 22 with the new changes. So it's a start fall off distance.
Mhm.
And then the max range. Yeah. We do not expect these values to be final, but we wanted to start with the mid-range weapons or on more even footing than they are in the live game. Right. Keep in mind, even with their damage fall off start values being similar, weapons will perform differently once their damage fall off begins. As they currently do in the live game, rifle style weapons will experience fall off more gradually, while handheld ones will experience it more quickly. But the differences should be much less extreme. So kind of saying you got to be in range with your hand cannon Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're doing like no damage. Whereas a rifle is going to be more forgiving,
Yeah.
even if you're outside of your full off range.
Yeah.
Right. In addition, we also have hand-tuned a small list of exotics and all special weapons with the intention of keeping them near where they are in the live game, as opposed to allowing them to receive substantial buffs or nerfs with these overarching changes. But we'll share more info later. And then it gives the table.
Yeah. And the table is, like you said, it's just the range is kind of being brought in a little bit.
Yeah. Like, the biggest one I'm seeing right off the bat here would be like aggressive hand cannons and maybe pulse rifles, where if you add rangefinder to those, they get up higher, but with the new base ADS modifier, it does bring them down to earth a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
these,
I mean,
these numbers
interesting-
don't mean a
interesting
whole
though.
lot. When we get the
Yeah.
guns in game,
Yeah.
we'll be like, oh yeah, I can definitely feel like, I was able to shoot this guy from this hallway to the end of this hallway and do full damage, and now definitely getting like,
Well,
3/4 damage.
what is, I think, stands out to me, if you look at like where auto rifles used to sit, the max was like 36.5 and pulse rifles was 43, which kind of makes sense. Like pulse rifles should just be a little bit further away, right? But then with the new changes, auto rifles got to sit at 39.5 and pulse is 39.95. So
Yeah.
Not
pulse
much
rifles
difference.
and auto rifles are in the same range essentially.
Yeah, but also
bringing
think
everything that
about the
little bit
usage
closer.
case of an auto rifle where you're spraying it, you're just holding it down. You're much less accurate than you are with like the burst of the pulse rifle.
So, and also, I mean, aggressive hand cannons have more range than a pulse rifle.
And also, that's probably like the top end of like the slowest firing auto rifles.
Yeah. Yeah, there was comment on that. Is that further on about the pulse rifles?
I am not sure.
Anyway,
They have a note that says auto rifles have the widest variance in available zoom values in the current live game, between 16 and 20. For the purpose of the above chart, 16 zoom was used as the base value since it's the most prevalent, but 20 zoom ARs were reaching 41.5.
It's a big range
doing even better.
than pulse rifles.
Yeah.
Other things
Which,
to look
you know
forward
what?
to. Go ahead.
I would say I'm all up for auto rifles to be back in the meta for a little bit. I'm fine with it. If I can take off the pulse rifle and be a little bit closer, and hand cannons are also competitive in that range, I actually think that would be a nice switch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other things to look forward to in Season 22, hand cannons will be receiving several buffs aimed at improving their usefulness in PvE, including a base reload speed increase and damage increase to minor and major enemies. Thank you for that. I love
But
Yeah,
only
that'd be
in
nice.
PvE?
PvE. Yeah.
PvE.
That's to me that's a weird thing.
Why?
If you're changing the reload speed of a hand cannon, you get used to that, and then you take it into PvP or something, and it's different.
I would
you're
imagine
getting
it's going to stay the same in PvP and PvE. They don't like to change the reload speed.
Oh, but
when
it
you
says
move to
reload
different
speed in there.
content.
I wonder if they're saying base reload speed increase would be across the board, but yeah, it is confusing because they say specifically PvE.
But
and
I
then they
can't imagine
include base
you're going to
reload
have a
speed.
different reload speed in PvE.
I would
and
hope
PvP.
not.
That'd be weird.
Just the way that it's
That
worded
would be
is
weird.
the way that it's worded is
Yes, it is confusingly worded. 2, Sword Guard is getting a substantial rework. 3, tuning to a handful of exotics, including a balance pass for Le Monarch and some big buffs to Touch of Malice.
Oh,
That's nice to
That
hear.
sounds fun.
Okay.
Both of those.
Changes to weapon perks, including buffs to Bipod, Envious Assassin, and Under Over.
I don't even know what bipod is. What is bipod?
I don't
for like
know.
rocket launchers, right?
Is
Yeah, it's
it?
the thing that gives you like an extra rocket or something.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
You're the
I don't know.
PvE player. What's going on over there? I'm not
I've
looking at
obviously it's been so forgettable.
newer
I've
perk, I
deleted
think.
everything with bipod on it.
Within the last year.
Yeah.
They also talk about
Envious
season
Assassin, right?
23.
Yeah.
They're in full swing on a pass over there. They do know that they're going to work on glaives, including the exotics. They'll be getting substantial tuning. They're excited to share details when they come further along. I think that's about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to read what the bipod perk does?
Sure.
Yeah, go on.
No, I don't.
Increases rocket launcher ammo and reserves, but reduces damage, blast radius, and reload speed.
Okay.
It gives the numbers here: decreases firing delay by 25%, reserves increase to 5, and then decreases blast radius by 30, reload speed by 20, and damage by 40%.
Whoa.
But it gives you more rockets, so
You're
in
doing like
those
what? Ad clear with your rockets? What are you doing?
well,
with the
in
perk?
those scenarios, maybe in PvE where you have a short damage window, getting those extra rockets could mean more damage per second overall.
And that pretty much sums up the what do they call it?
Developer insights.
Thank you. Moving on to this week in Destiny, they announced that tomorrow is Bungie Day, so it's starting Friday.
It is 7/7. That's right.
Yep.
Woo!
Bungie
Day.
For Bungie Day, guess what we're doing? We're
What?
fishing.
Oh,
We're fishing. So tomorrow is Bungie Day. They're doing a
We
Bungie
have to?
Foundation. They're doing of course the Bungie Foundation stuff. There's actually a bunch of like really cool things that you can get. The emote, the ghost shell, actually super cool for giving money to charity. Don't be like the weirdos who are like, why would I give Bungie money? They're so greedy asking for money. It's for charity, you idiots. Okay. Oh, I don't think any
greedy
of those
charities.
people listen to. I don't think those people listen to podcasts, maybe.
They
But I
don't
did
listen to
see.
ours, I bet.
I saw that someone made a YouTube video with a link to their Bungie Foundation charity link, and they're like, "I'm not giving Bungie any money, greedy assholes." It's like it's for charity. So,
Yep.
anyway, there's gonna be prizes for
Stupid,
Bungie
sick
Day.
kids. Who needs them?
Where there's going to be in-game items, limited edition marathon shirts, and PlayStation game codes for Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, and more.
Ooh.
Now
There's
I
also
just
going to
want to play
be.
Ghost of Tsushima.
No, it's so good. We need more Ghost of Tsushima.
Yep.
There's also going to be 7 days of prizes, which includes dope finds like plushies and a Varric statue.
Cool.
Bunch of emblems. There's also going to be a community emblem where create an emblem you'd like to see in Destiny 2. So you've got a bunch of people putting together emblem art for it to potentially be in the game. And as part of the Bungie Day celebration, there's going to be community fishing derbies. Community fishing derbies. So players can compete in those.
Say it again for me once.
Community fishing derbies.
Community fishing derbies.
To compete, Guardians will
Tell me
need
more.
to catch as many fish as possible within a given time frame. There will be 5 fishing derbies, which will be 1 hour each, spread out throughout the day.
Bring your best hats.
I did think it was cool that they're bringing back the old charity emblems that are retired. So
They are,
for
yeah.
the if you donate $100 as a donor, I believe you get all of the Bungie Day emblems released over the past 5 years. That
Oh,
are
that's neat.
retired. For y'all that are
Oh.
complaining about, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
No, that's great. Here are your times for your fishing derbies. Okay. You got
Copy
the
that.
Alpha Derby at 2 a.m. Pacific. It says at 2 a.m. Pacific at 2 a.m. Pacific. The Bravo Derbies at 6 a.m. Pacific at 6 a.m. Pacific. Charlie Derby, 10 a.m. PST at 10 a.m. PST. Delta Derby, 2 p.m. Pacific. Echo Derby, 6 p.m. Pacific. So one of these times are good for you, Mylan. Like 2 a.m. one, you gonna get in there? What time is that for you?
Hold on. When I get up, if I get up at reset, it's 1 a.m. and that is
10 a.m.
10 a.m. for
Probably be like 6
Bungie,
p.m. our
right?
time would be best for you, I would think. Like the evening for us.
And that might be the 6
Yeah.
p.m. one because that's when the podcast
Be like
starts.
your afternoon, morning,
Yeah.
afternoon, Mylan.
Yeah, morning then.
Like
yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
like when the podcast starts at 6.
Yeah, whenever if the podcast starts at 6, yeah, that's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good time. That's a good derby. It's a great derby. Oh, we're a hat. Maybe I'll
Are we
wear a
gonna
hat,
be in
we'll
the
get some
Echo Derby?
champagne.
They should do
Yeah,
like
let's go.
precision
Suit on?
hats
Or
with the
actually
brim that goes
2
all the way
a.m.
around.
2 a.m. would be good for him too, because it'd be like dinner time for Mylan.
Yeah.
So wait,
Mm.
it's just obviously just
I will
random.
explain
because
it to you how it works. Because there's
Okay.
rules, Mylan. There's rules, there's points,
okay,
there's
sure.
winners and losers. So
Copy that.
the top 3 scorers from each of the 5 derbies will be highlighted in next week's TWID, as well as receive a special Bungie Foundation
You mean
digital
TWAB?
prize pack.
Mhm,
They
mhm,
call it a TWID. You get the Heartful Shell Exotic Ghost, fully equipped with heart bubbles. You get blue blood cells, this year's Bungie Day Giving Festival emblem. You get Helium Hearts, which is a duo emote. And you get the Bungie Day Emblem Bundle, which is every single bundle over the past 5 years. So that's what you're going to win if you are one of the top 3 scorers from each 5 of the derbies.
So let me talk strategy because there's not really much going on here, right?
You don't even know the points, Mylan. There's
Okay.
points per fiche.
Sorry, I'm sorry for cutting in,
Man.
sir, madam.
If one person wins multiple derbies, we will award the next highest score. With the lucky perk that went live at Reset this week, you'll have a chance to catch double the number of exotic fish while scoping out your favorite hotspots for some chill time. So here's how your points are going to work. Junk, you get 0 points. Uncommon, 1 point. Rare, 2 points. Legendary, 5 points. And exotic, 20 points. And then they also say, oh, did we mention increased reputation gains across the board? Yes. But that's how the points are going to work for the derbies. Points for fish.
Right.
Realistically, it
derby.
should be
Okay.
like top 50 for each time zone or something, right? Because top 3 seems outrageously low. Like
not
3
many,
people
yeah.
out of 100,000 some
That's
odd
true.
people.
Especially
Like,
for.
Don't worry, I'm sure RNG will be in your favor. You'll be
on.
good.
And it's obviously massively RNG because it's
Yeah.
only an hour.
It's
It's
100%
an hour
RNG.
per derby.
okay.
Excuse me, let me tell you the skill aspect of this, okay? Because you need firstly a fight team. You make sure as many people are fishing at the spot as possible.
You do, yeah.
Secondly, you need to run tryouts for people who get perfect catches every single time. Don't use a macro. You need perfect catches. No reading chat, nothing. Just staring at the screen. You need
How
perfect
entertaining to
catches. You need perfect catches, and then you need the strategy. Once you've got your focus bar full, no more picking up fish.
Yep.
Until a public event, you work out which public events should be cleared quicker. You got to make sure they're not heroic. So if you want to go troll someone, go make public events heroic so it lasts longer, so they can't get back to fishing. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna need to send minions out there to troll everyone else. Just sit in a public event, make it heroic. That will stuff up. Like if you see Astacross on it, join him, make the public event heroic, and then you pick up the fish once the public event's finished,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
then it's all RNG. That's the best you can do.
Yep.
There was some interesting stuff about balancing weapons in the 12.
I'm gonna
And that
take
was-
part in maybe 2 of these derbies.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna bring my weed hat because it's a bucket
Wait.
hat, and that's like
Your
a
what
fishing
hat?
Weed hat.
That is okay.
I bought it for our DCP
7 leaves?
420.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Just as I expected.
Oh, DCP 420. I
Yep.
don't remember that. I bet it was fun.
By the way, the weapon balancing thing is pretty much just a review of what we just read through.
Yeah. But they just talk about how we balance weapons. So
Right.
That is
Oh, yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Oh,
they
there's
say
a-
they've talked about this before, but they go through like a list. They kind of break it down for us. So, one, they look at usage. What percent of total time in Crucible games do players have this weapon equipped? 2, kills. What percentage of all kills in Crucible come from this weapon? Which, those 2 numbers, you have to ratio them based on the other one. Win rate. Do players have this weapon equipped win their games at a higher rate than players with other weapons? Kills per minute. Kills over expected. Given the above data and filtering for things like player skill, game mode, subclass, ammo type, data range, controller input method, weapon slot, etc. specific weapon or type of weapon getting more or fewer kills than would be expected.
Okay.
So there's quite a few things that they look at, and they all have to be kind of like, put together. Because, like, if everybody's using the weapon, but the kills are under expected, then I don't think you need to nerf it, right? But if it's getting way more kills, but the usage is still low, you still might want to take a look at it, right?
Yeah.
What I see is Monarch and Last Word need a buff. Lamarck and Last Word need a buff. This is what I see from this chart.
How do I read this chart? What's the percentages mean?
I'm literally scanning right now. This says like below you can see a chart of our kills over expected metrics for the last month of primary weapons in high skill PvP lobbies across platforms with all input types. As you move towards the right hand side of the chart, usage time increases. Okay, so at the very right hand side, you see Graviton Lance, Immortal, Adept. Okay.
No time to
Correct,
explain.
okay.
Messenger, Rose, Ace of Spades, Crimson.
Checks out. We want to see weapons get closer to the 0% KOE kills over expected level on the y-axis, which means they're performing as expected. Okay.
So the sweet
you can see
business
that
is
the
getting
messenger.
way more.
You can see that Messenger Depth, no time to explain, Gravitons, and Immortal are currently slightly elevated above where we'd like to see them to be for the current usage levels compared to the weapons further to the left.
Okay.
Right, that's a pretty useful chart.
What the hell is Nanty Narker?
Where?
On the left.
Yeah, it's like the fourth
Probably
weapon
like
down
a
from the top.
a blue weapon or something, maybe.
Nanty Narca.
What's Nanty Narker?
Some of those like blue weapons. Pretty sure, like Gasiva C and Herod C, and those aren't those like blue weapons.
The Nanty Narker.
So-
That's Chesney. I appreciate that. I appreciate that comment. That was good.
That was a good one. Nice one.
Look
So
at where
those
sweet
callback.
business is.
So wait, so sweet business, this graph means sweet business is really overperforming, but not many people are using it.
Yes, everybody get on sweet business right now.
No,
That's what
everyone
I
get
see.
on Nanty Narca right now.
I'm gonna bring the Nanty Narker
What a
into
hidden
trials after
gem.
looking at this. What is
Hidden
it? I wonder what kind of gun is it? I don't even know. Nanty
I want to say
Narker.
Nancy. I want to say it's Nancy
The
Narca.
pulse rifle. It's
It's
a
a
blue
pulse
pulse
rifle.
rifle. Blue pulse rifle.
A blue pulse, huh?
It can roll
Uh-huh.
quick draw and steady rounds or alloy magazine. That's about it.
This is a review from 3 years ago. OP as fuck. If you want to destroy and GM Nightfalls and Trials, why use another gun when Nanty Narker exists? There you go. There you go.
Mhm.
That's from Garth 3 years ago.
Very
Setting
good
us
in
up for
PvE
success.
or PvP, like Lincoln Green, but easier to get.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's
I mean, big thanks on giving us a graph that and we can understand it.
graph
Like,
is good.
It's kind of nice. It's kind of
also
a nice
really
visual.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like we need
Well
some
done.
gameplay reviews from streamers of the Nanty Narker now.
Nanty Narker. Yeah.
Huge.
Just that name. That's a good name. That's fine.
Just like one of those like Pokemon thumbnails, guess the Pokemon, whatever. It's like just blacked out Nanty Narca.
Yep.
You won't believe which overperforming pulse rifle.
There it is. At least 5 views right there.
Let's go.
Witherhoard is getting a new ornament. You'll get an email, I think, to vote for which one you like.
I just want to say real quick. So first of all, Iron Banner, the final Iron Banner is coming back. That's the thing that's happening. It's gonna be Fortress Zone Control. But the thing that I'm excited about is these exotic one fish, two fish, exotic fish, pinfish. Those little
And the
pins
hook.
look adorable.
And the hook for when you miss.
Yeah. Those pins
they're
are
kinda
adorable. It's
cute.
the 4 exotic
They're
fish
kinda
and the hook. That's amazing. I really like that.
Yeah.
That's actually cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah. What do you have to
Um,
do? You get the exotic angular triumph.
Yeah, it's just getting all the exotic fish, pretty much.
Yeah,
And then
well
there's
done.
also an emblem in game for that. Hey, you'll get it during your derbies. Derbies.
Derby, bring your best hat.
They
Freaking
do have a
cooler.
fishing hat in the Destiny store that's on pre-order, or will be on pre-order soon. I think not
Yeah,
released yet.
hold on. I just want to clarify something. This is not just an Australian thing, like with wearing a nice hats to derbies, right? Whatever you call it. What are they
No,
called? Like
no.
the
Yeah, I watched the Kentucky Derby for the first time, and they were indeed hats. Because I asked the same
what are they
question. I
called?
was
What
like,
are they
"Do they
called?
do the
Not
same thing as like England? Because England has the
not.
horse racing thing."
What's the name for the hat? It's not Fascinator, is it? It's
The big ones that give you a lot of shade kind of hat, like the
The
flat
big
ones.
one with all of the derby
fancy
hats.
hats.
A
Yeah.
sombrero?
No, the
Kind
ones,
of like
that's-
that.
the ones with all the
Close.
flowers, and people go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
People go crazy with the hats. Church hat,
Church
Yeah,
hat.
pretty much.
faux-pish.
Twitter
With a
questions?
horde.
Yeah,
There
with a
is a
horde. We cut you
new-
off. We cut you
We
off
did.
with a horde.
Oh, you're gonna get an email.
You're getting an
Vote
email
with
to
that.
vote for an ornament for with a horde. I actually don't like what they did here by putting.
Yeah, you don't get to see the whole thing.
You don't get to see the whole thing. You have to. I mean, it'll be in your
That's
email. The
nuts.
whole
The
thing.
email it does show it. Goth also retweeted or tweeted a picture of all three
Yeah.
from the email. So
The second one is basically like a gambit one. The third one is like a ribbon kind of one.
yeah, it does kind of look like ribbon spikes coming out of it,
Mm.
almost like 1,000
I
voices.
feel like we've been talking about with a horde's ornament for like years now. Like I feel like
Is anybody
there was an
voting for anything that's
announcement to-
not the fish scales one though at this point?
A
mean,
lot
come
of
on,
people apparently, but like that one is glowy. It looks. I like that one.
No, I'm
I'd
saying,
be
is
voting
anybody
for the
not-
first one.
Yeah, is anybody not voting for that one?
I heard a lot of people were loving the gambit one or the ribbon one.
Wait, so where can I see him? Did Goth tweet him, did he?
Yes, he tweeted out all of them with the full pictures.
Probably that.
I
Oh,
don't
that's
think I've-
better.
I don't think I've
Yeah.
gotten the email yet, so
All right.
Yeah.
Twitter questions.
Yeah.
Grim
Yeah.
Invictus says, "Hey DCP crew, do you think Bungie has completely forgotten about the failsafe at this point? She might be the least relevant Destiny character ever."
Failsafe.
turn her on
Failsafe.
in Last Wish. Good to go.
Oh yeah, good one. Yeah, the wish wall. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you can get all the dialogue from failsafe, right? At the
That's
wish wall.
true. That
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely forgot about that.
She is a neglected vendor, to be honest. Everyone else is getting their comeback stories. Like
They are,
Sloan
yeah.
and except for Brother Vance. So she's in the same category as
Nobody
Brother
cares
Vance, I
about Brother
think.
Vance.
What if
I probably care more
failsafe
about
and
failsafe.
failsafe and oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. The one that like sacrificed himself for us a couple of seasons
Asher?
ago. No,
Asher
me.
Mir.
the machine. Rasputin.
Rasputin.
Rasputin and yeah. Should
Failsafe,
have
yeah.
some Rasputin and failsafe having commingling happening, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, you think they're getting it on in the afterlife?
I don't know. Failsafe needs a partner, I think.
I don't.
Do AI go
Bungie
to
keep
heaven?
talk. What were you like at school? What were you like at school? Because I imagine like a teacher. It's like, oh, okay, we've got the class, we've got the class back on track, and then student Briar, miss, AI go to heaven? Just derail the
Sounds
whole
pretty accurate.
classroom.
It does seem
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah.
Kamazats says, Mylan, Briar, and an emu are in a cage match. There's a single steel chair sitting in equal distance between Mylan and Briar. Who makes it out?
The emu.
The emu.
Yeah. I mean,
trick
emus
question.
have already won a war. Mylan lost that war, and I don't
Yeah.
think my chances are much better.
And we had machine guns, and we lost it.
Right.
We
Not
lost
a
against
steel
emus with
chair.
Yeah, I don't know how well the chair is gonna do for
Right.
you if machine guns aren't good enough.
If I'm lucky, I'll team up with the emu.
Right it.
Learn the ways of battle.
Oh, I'll turn around and Brian will be writing it, and I'm like, oh, well, it's game over for me.
Turns into Donkey Kong Country Briar over there.
Yep.
Yannick Ghost says, I'm German and recently got in contact with Australians on a party and pulled out my Australian slang that I learned from the show.
No.
They really liked that I know what a budgie smuggler is.
Okay.
My problem is I need more slang, so please, more Aussie and other slang. Donkey.
Oh,
Look at that. You're
We sort
helping
of-
people make friends.
I
think
mean,
we
I
can
thought that was
Trusting
going to
them
go
with their
in a
knowledge.
Do you think we
I
can
thought
get
that was gonna go
5
in a
more
different
pieces of
direction.
slang next week?
Yeah. Look, here's a very simple one that you could
Okay.
that would probably be applicable to LFGs, so to our German speakers over there that have met some Australians. I think when you get into the raid or whatever, and everyone's sort of not moving along, you just say very loudly and confidently, "We're not here to fuck spiders," and everybody knows that means okay. Come on, let's move it along here. We're diddle daddling along. We need to hurry this up.
Yeah. Obviously.
That's a good one.
That's what that means.
Naturally.
Yeah.
But what if we are there to fuck spiders?
Well, you're in the
As
wrong
long as
LFG.
it's not as long as there's not a spider boss in Destiny, this saying will be applicable.
No, you're gonna say that. There's gonna be a spider boss, and then person's gonna be there saying, "What if I'm into that, Miley?" Huh? And you're gonna go, "Oh, well."
Huh?
That's me.
Well.
Yeah.
Gareth Evans says, one of my friends thinks Destiny will just end after the final shape. Can you tell him he's wrong, even though he doesn't listen to this podcast or know who you are, probably? I didn't think this through, did I? I mean, they've said it's not going to end
He
after
ain't
final shape.
listening to Bungo.
Yeah.
So just tell
Yeah.
him to tune in. Dude, you know what? Bet him some money, and then tell him to tune in August. If you could watch it
Au-
together, even
22nd.
better. Watch
Yeah.
it together, bet some money, and then there you go.
Tune
When
into
is the
the-
reveal?
Yeah,
Have
wouldn't
they-
it, wouldn't
have they
it,
given
wouldn't
us
it be
the
a
date?
plot twist if Bungie's like, yeah, sorry, we are ending?
The
We
final
really think
reveal is the
Marathon's going to need
final
all of our
shape.
attention.
What a twist! The final shape is the finale. Imagine.
Yeah.
What date is the reveal? August what? Do we know?
Is it 22nd? I want to say. I'm not
End of the
sure though.
season, whatever that is.
Oh, I literally have it in my calendar. I thought I had Destiny 2 showcase. Yeah, 22nd of. Yep. There you go.
22nd.
Good call.
There you go.
Nathaniel Rollins says, probably too late for this to wind up on the show, but for TV and easy drinking recommendations for newcomers, whew, there's a serious lack of commas in this, Nathaniel. And it
He's
makes it
already
hard
drinking.
to read, my friend. It
He's
really
already
does.
drinking.
I think this question's for TV anyway, and TV's not on the show.
He is not. Ask it not next week, the week after.
Week after.
Mylan,
Yeah,
Mylan
come
can
back,
do a TV impression.
add some commas, and TV loves recommending whiskeys.
He does.
Whiskey.
It'll make him very happy.
Brennan says, hey, DCP, second time question asked here. What's your best advice for dealing with a breakup? She just ended a 3-year relationship with me after having been living together for the whole thing and took 2 out of 5 cats. 2 out of 5 cats. Who takes
That
2
sounds
out
like a
of
win.
5 cats? Well, a win would be take all the cats.
But what if
True.
they're? I mean, depends whose cats they are. I mean, like if they were all your cats and she took 2 of your cats, that's probably
Yeah.
pretty
You
bad.
obviously like cats if you got 5 cats.
No, that's not
Uh,
true. You obviously liked her who had 5 cats.
Yes. Yes.
True.
But the way that he
I mean,
worded that
look,
though
The
made it
fact,
sound
yeah,
like he likes them.
right. The fact that he said and she took 2.
5. Or
Yeah.
I'm seeing this as the bright side of the breakup. Like, hey, look, it was really hard. We were living together, but she did take 2 of the 5 cats.
But that's still not good in that viewpoint because he still has more cats than her.
And you can't get much money for cats. It's like hard to even give them away.
I mean, I think when one door closes, another opens, and you're already half in with Destiny. Just become a streamer, like you're there now.
And you have cats.
No distractions now.
You
Yeah.
have 3 cats.
You have 3 cats.
Yeah.
Probably
your
the
claim
worst
to
3,
fame.
I would guess. Like, she took the best 2. My guess is.
Yeah, probably.
Put the camera straight on their butthole.
She seems
instant
like
mute.
the kind of person who would just take the 2 best cats and leave you with the 3 stinkers. Like,
Yeah.
this girl was no good to begin with. This cat thief.
Yeah.
Well, that's another question. Did she steal them, or did you come to an arrangement of
Good
who's
point.
gonna get what
Did
cat?
you get to pick which 3 you kept?
This is a deep. But how to get over a breakup?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's
But-
hard.
It is
Just-
hard.
Focus on working on yourself and focusing on yourself so you can make yourself happy first, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I recommend
I think people.
trying to hang out with friends as much as possible to try and distract yourself from just like brooding on it. That works for me.
Especially
the
the
past,
initial pain.
You got to
from it,
keep your
right?
mind busy. Gotta
Yeah.
keep your mind busy.
You
Get
gotta
a
keep
dog.
your mind busy and
Get a dog to chase the 3 cats.
Have you heard of the
keep your-
fishing derby?
oh, you could participate in the derby. You could get yourself a fancy hat. You can make it a whole thing.
It is no fun breaking up, but these things do heal. These things do get better.
They
Yes.
definitely do get
Every
better.
time.
And
somebody in
everyone
chat-
tells you it's going to get better, but it's very hard to hear that at the time. But
Yeah.
you know, just do the things that make you happy. Do the hobbies that make you happy. Play the Destiny when it makes you happy. Play the video games, whatever.
Binge
Yeah.
a very interesting TV show.
Yeah.
Order food whenever you want to eat. Have no schedule. Just be like, I want to eat pancakes. Order pancakes. You want to
How many
order
litter
Or-
pans do you need with
I'm a
5
fan
cats?
of eating your feelings, 100%.
You need 10.
10 litter
Mhm.
pans?
You should technically
2
have 10.
per cats?
Yes.
Why so many? We only have
Don't
2
they have
for
those
2 cats.
cleaning ones?
Those
Technically,
break
yeah.
constantly and they cost a fortune, so we stopped buying them.
I've never tried that because I figured the sound would scare them.
Good.
Okay, so there's a plus side to them after all. 3 Bros, 1 Controller podcast says best food to cook on the grill, not Briar. Added, not
Not
Briar.
Huh.
Best
Mylan.
food on the
Weird.
grill.
Not me.
Was Mylan the second? Is he the second meal? What's...
Put another Mylan on the Barbie. How about a
I mean,
brisket? I
Sure.
love a brisket.
On
Yeah,
a grill?
brisket
or like
is
a slow
good.
cooker?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I'm not much of a
Does it
cook,
count?
honestly.
No, slow cookers are like 3 to 4 hours. Grills are like 15 minutes, 12, 15 minutes.
Because
maybe.
if someone in Australia said you're having a barbecue, it could be like a grill or it
Sure.
could be like a slow cooked meal.
He
like,
does
it
say
could be
grill,
over-
though. Jay's correct here. He does say grill
Right.
specifically.
I mean, like a good Polish sausage or a bratwurst or some steak or burgers or like, is there really bad stuff to have on a grill?
No.
Chicken,
Mhm.
like
No.
salmon.
Because even like if we go to say like a Korean barbecue place or a Japanese barbecue place,
Yeah.
I'm not eating the meat there, but like the vegetables
Oh,
that
yeah,
are
grilled
being
veggies.
grilled are
100%.
So
so
good.
good.
Yeah.
Corn
So
too.
good.
True.
Yeah.
I'll eat every corn. is
Twinkies?
bad.
True.
You ever had grilled
Reheating a
Twinkies?
pizza. Reheating pizza on a grill.
Yeah, I'm down.
Top way to reheat pizza. The best.
You ever had grilled Twinkies?
No, that's fucking
No.
gross, man.
No, the sugar crystallizes and it's warm.
Really?
Yeah, it's the best.
I've had a fried Twinkie before and it was gross.
No, just grill. Just stick it on the grill. Hot cream. They're actually
Nigger the
good.
Baker says, hello, DCP. One of 2 of you guys will be shifting to threads if it becomes more popular. One of 2 will you guys be shifting to threads if it becomes more popular? What's threads?
Threads is Facebook's Twitter alternative. Or
No.
I guess
Is that what I've been
Instagram.
seeing? I've been such
Yes.
a boomer lately. I keep getting images of
wanna-
people going, I've done the thing. I don't know what the fucking thing is.
I don't want to go to another thing.
What's
I'm
the
not
thing?
going to
Maybe-
another thing made by fucking Facebook. Like, no. If I'm
One
going to
billionaire
move
to
to a
another.
new version of Twitter, I'd like it to be not privately owned.
Can they
Like, I
just
really
fight
like
already?
these systems where they're building them out like from the ground up, like by making them public. I think that's a much smarter way. That way, one person can't come along and just like Elon Muskify it.
Can the billionaires
True.
just fight already, like they've been teasing us with?
To the death,
Please.
ideally.
Yeah, that's that. I tweeted that word for word. Yes. Amazing.
I do have my name on Threads because it just takes your Instagram name. So if you're on Instagram, you literally just load up Threads. It imports everything from Instagram, including all the people you follow.
No, I'm not
So yeah,
doing
I
it.
have my name on there.
I'll tell you what, I'll do it once everything burns down and there's no I can't do anything on Twitter and it's dead. And then even though Mylan games will be taken, I'll just go get the OG Mylan or the real Mylan or whatever.
You don't have your name on Instagram?
No, I don't have an Instagram. What am I going to use Instagram for? Post pictures of me reading the law?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, very interesting.
You can just take various pictures of you holding a book with different poses. That'd be amazing. I'd follow for that.
me in front of like different fireplaces reading the anthology.
Yeah, it'll be
some
your
glasses.
thing. You'll be traveling with other YouTubers and you'll be like, oh, new fireplace. You take a picture for my Instagram.
It kind of sounds good.
I'll follow for that. I'll follow for that. I'm in.
Sounds better than anything I follow.
What's the weirdest what's the weirdest thing you follow like on any social media? Like out of left field, nobody would have seen it
the
coming.
cat. Pepito the cat.
Oh, I thought you said Pedo the cat. I was
That's
like,
what I heard too.
Pepito.
Oh,
Pepito.
Kidoki.
Pepito the cat. Because it's
what's
a
that
Twitter
do?
account. It has a video camera set up on the cat flap, and it just says Pepito has come home. Pepito has left home. Pepito is back home. Pepito
so it's
is
just
left
like you
home.
just occasionally see a cat walk through like a cat door.
Yeah, it's just auto tweets saying when Pepito's left and come home. Now there was some drama recently because a cat that was not Pepito came through the cat flap.
Oh,
so
boy.
it was like Pepito is home, and everyone was like, "That's not Pepito! Tell me alone."
Intruder. Oh,
It's
that's
pretty great.
good.
It makes
That
me
is
laugh.
genius. That is like the best low effort Twitter I've
I know,
ever
and
seen.
they have like 320,000 followers.
Of course. There's
Yeah.
so many people who love cats. How about you guys? You got any like weirdo like
A friend of mine, actually a former like drumline student, they love bearded dragons, and they created a TikTok channel around bearded dragons and like how to take care of them, and it went like completely viral.
nice?
Like, in 2 months, like millions of views, like crazy. The channel's name is Beep Boop Beardies, but basically it could be like a 30-second video of them kind of lightly pulling out the like dead skin
Yeah,
from like
I've
their
seen
nose
it.
and stuff. And like
I've
the
seen it.
thing, yeah, that's like a friend of mine. That's their channel.
Yep.
So I follow them, but it is
wow.
kind of weird at the same time because I don't really care about beardies, but it is interesting for sure.
That doesn't sound like something I want to do.
I don't know. It's like, you ever watch people's zits get popped or Dr.
No,
Pepper
but my
vomit?
wife was on
It's
that, and I was
gross.
like really
It's gross,
anti.
but it's weirdly satisfying to watch.
She'd be like,
It is satisfying.
"Oh, look at this one." I'd be like,
You see the big one just sitting there, and they're doing all the little ones, and you're like, "Oh, the big one's coming. That's gonna be good."
gross. That was so
Not
good.
that bad.
It's so gross.
Not as bad as that anymore.
Wow, you don't have any of those?
Nah, I don't follow any of them.
No.
I'm too scared someone will find out I follow something weird. So like,
Where's
I wouldn't
Anubis?
do it.
I got a bunch of like YouTubes that I follow. Like I got like all the conspiracy theory ones who like always end up being fucking assholes in the end. So I unfollow them once I figure that out. Then there's all the van lifers that I follow. Love those. I just recently found out there's like this whole genre of YouTubers. They're like just regular dudes who like play golf with their friends and film it when they go to like really nice courses. And it's really fun. They'll even play with like professional golfers if they're popular enough. And it's really fun to see like how bad we are compared to like professional golfers. But they're just like out there having a good time doing like podcasts on stuff. I like that.
I have a related story to this. So
Okay.
my brother-in-law showed up at the house one day. Just didn't call or anything to show up. He goes, "Oh, Matt, can I talk to you?" I'm like,
No.
Just showed
This
up out of
sounds
the blue.
ominous. This sounds very ominous. I'm gonna say
The
no.
I was
drop
like-
by.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, like what's going on? Like I thought maybe something happened to our nieces or something. It's like, yeah, come in. I want a coffee, whatever. So right. So I basically watch golf on YouTube, and it's just a bunch of friends that hang out and play golf. And so me and my brother want to play more golf. So we've got to tell our wives we're going to start a YouTube channel. Can you help
Ah.
us?
That's brilliant. That is game in the
It
system.
is. Yeah.
That was the whole
Funny.
thing.
We
That
can
was the
become
whole thing.
millionaires. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't
That was
matter
the
if
whole
it's actually
thing.
successful or not, because it's just an excuse to play more golf with your friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was our
Play
whole
golf with
reasoning.
friends.
Yep. And
Why
he's like, it's
does
the only thing I
golf-
want on YouTube.
Why does golf keep showing up on my For You page on TikTok? I swear.
Maybe
I
you're a golfer. You don't know it yet.
Well,
Maybe
I've
they-
played golf. Like I
Maybe-
took
there you go.
lessons and stuff. I just don't.
YouTube
I
knows.
don't
The
love it.
algorithm knows.
I know, but like I'll watch a video because somebody that's doing it is doing it in an interesting way. It doesn't mean
There
I
you
love
go.
golf.
Well,
It's
there you
just
go.
like,
That's
yeah.
it.
Can
All
I
it
be
takes
honest
is
with you,
watch
looking
Jay?
at
one
a
video and
for
you're
too
fucked.
long. You got to go fast. You got to scroll
Yeah,
super
you
fast.
do.
Otherwise, they're like, oh, 10
Oh,
seconds.
Jay,
Yeah.
It's like the naughty
Right.
videos that you're like, oh no, can't do that.
I'll give you some harsh truth, and I mean this from a friend. Okay,
Mm.
Oh no.
you're white, you're old, and you're bald. You got to get golf in your fucking algorithm. Okay.
Mylan's got a point.
Uh,
The older you get, the more golf.
They're like,
it's
I
coming
see
for
you've
ya.
reached prime golf.
but I'm not
age.
wealthy.
You're gonna start
Send me the
getting some New
video."
Balance sneaker ads. You're gonna maybe a Cadillac ad or two. Basil says, we all love loot. What is your most prized possession or collection in real life?
Ooh.
I guess that's an easier answer for me. My games and coins.
I mean, the best thing
I
I have
reckon-
is these guys
Yeah.
from Demon Slayer.
Like, excluding like people or
Fantastic.
animals, like pets or anything. If your house was burning down, like what would be your like thought? Like, I gotta grab that because it's irreplaceable.
Oh, I don't have anything.
I would just leave because honestly, if I thought about that, I would get stuck because there's too much shit to grab.
Too much shit.
I would just be like, no, I'm just gonna leave it all. I can't.
Honestly, I think it's probably the Bungie, the anthology books I worked on. I've got obviously the copies I worked on. I think it's
Yeah.
probably like,
It's a good one.
and they're really hard to get again. Like, I don't know if you can get even buy them. So
You probably get them on eBay, right? Like somebody's probably selling their copy.
I saw one in a library.
Oh no!
Oh.
Shit. There you go. Just steal
Wow.
it from the library. I'm
I
trying
also
to
have
like.
a cool sword. I've got a proper sword.
Oh yeah, look
When
at
I
that.
was doing Muay Thai,
Is it
my
sharp?
instructor got it. It will definitely kill you. Yeah, it's not like
Yeah, I guess
yeah,
that's
you wouldn't want
sharp.
to be hit by it.
That qualifies.
It's
Yeah.
for murder. Yeah.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
murder weapon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Weapon
well,
of war.
they can't. I think you can't have it super sharp because then it's no longer like an ornament, but it is like
Yeah.
a proper sword that my instructor got me from Thailand. That's like a you know, I don't know. I would
For
say
murder.
historical actor. What? Yeah, for murder. I don't know. I can't say.
I honestly I can't think like what. There's a bunch of shit that I value,
Mhm.
but I can't think of like something that's like head above heels more than like I have some like cool old video game stuff. Like I got some, I don't know, I got like some stuff from my childhood. I got some. There's probably some gifts that I would like that my mother or my father have given me that mean a lot.
That's true. Yeah, it's probably some stuff. Like I know I have some ornaments for the Christmas tree that mean a lot. Maybe something
Yeah.
like that.
But most of the stuff I got is like so easily replaceable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
memories kind of trump everything, anyways. Really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Noxborn says, not a Destiny question, but trying to bring back the AQI discussion. That is air quality index for anybody
Yes,
not
I
in the
have
know.
a topical thing to talk about with air quality.
It's 87 in Dubai. How's it looking where you're at? Thanks for always making my Friday. Well, I'm going to look that up right now because
I will look at
4th of July
mine.
on 4th of July it was terrible. It was like,
It was terrible here too.
I wanted to bring up. So normally we sit around 20, 30. I woke up, it was like 200. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I'm Googling, like, where are the fires? It's clearly a fire. And the news is just like, because of all the fireworks.
What happens if you have deviled eggs for dinner, next morning? Bad AQI.
Our neighborhood sounds like a war zone on New Year or like New Year's and 4th of July. Our dog did not like it. We discovered he was not.
Wait. You're saying the fireworks?
Yeah, our neighborhood sounds like a war zone.
But it made your AQI worse?
Yeah, no, our air quality
mortar shell fireworks. Yeah. Yes, like
it went from
boom, boom,
20
boom,
to 200 because of the fireworks. Yeah.
So like on July 5th morning.
Yes.
Get out. I'm surprised.
Foggy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're still dealing with the fire.
Set one of my neighbor's yards on fire.
Oh no.
So that's cool.
That's unsafe usage of fireworks. I'm just gonna call that out. Was it your neighbor who set it out? Where'd it come from?
No, it was someone who had said it. I mean, they were putting out warnings around here for 4th of July fireworks because everything is very, very, very dry.
Yeah,
it's been hot and dry. So
I love fireworks. I like the backyard fireworks, the legal ones, not the ones that
like the fountains and stuff.
Go into your neighbor's lawn and light them on fire. I also like the public ones, like the one the town puts on. I like to go to them, but they all got canceled this year because we had like major storms. So we didn't get any fireworks this year, which was really sad.
Disney fireworks I can appreciate and stuff, but
like the laser light
when
show
they're in our neighborhood and they're that close and it's loud as fuck. It is so loud. And they're not the legal ones and they're just constant for like 6 hours and it's just
the worst part this year was that it was on a Tuesday. So people are like, I need to go to work. Can you shut up? It's midnight or 2 a.m.
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. I saw a TikTok of a hand surgeon saying, "Oh, it's my favorite time of the year," and then it was a montage of X-rays, so you didn't see the gore of it, but it was just like fingers and hands blown apart, limbs missing, and it was like, yeah, I guess that happens when you have like mini explosives.
Our 3-year-old grabbed a sparkler. So she's got like a burn mark across her hand. She did it, and my wife, I wasn't outside because I was like staying with the dog, and she said that she tried to like put it in water, but she grabbed it instead. And so and she wouldn't let go. She was like holding it, and my wife was like, put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down. She's like,
wow. Oh,
yeah.
Huh.
Minor burn, but it was kind of intense.
Zachary Richard says DCP is having a backyard pool party. Who's bringing what? Sides, food, party games, alcohol, and a friend. I'm definitely bringing booze.
Yeah, I think you got booze.
100%. Oh no,
you got cocktails.
Also, though, I think TV should bring some too. He does have a whiskey channel.
Yeah.
It's funny how we're all bringing booze.
I mean, we got to cover.
Who brought the food? There's no food. It's just alcohol, and there's some edibles.
If I see a grill anywhere near any of you psychopaths, I'm gonna get the fuck out of there.
I'll bring cornhole, ladder golf, and Coob.
Oh man,
Coob. Have you heard of the new game Coob?
No, I have not.
I don't even know if you're speaking English right now. I can't understand a word coming out of your mouth.
Kubb. It's like I don't know if it's like a European yard game. You put up little like wooden dowels, and you gotta like toss other wooden sticks to knock them over, and it's kind of fun.
Have they got numbers on them?
No.
I do enjoy a good game of cornhole. We played a little bit this weekend, and we had a good time. But I do get sick of it very quickly.
Sure.
And like, because I am an alcoholic, I play I play yard games all the time, and I've gotten quite good at cornhole. And one of the problems with being good at cornhole is that you just keep winning, and people just want to keep playing you. You're like, I don't want to play more fucking cornhole.
I got winner. No, you do not.
Where you have the bean bag that you throw.
Yes. Yeah.
And
into like
it's on like a board with a hole in it. Right.
What was the last
So
time
no
you guys...
one's bringing food. We got Jay bringing games. Everyone's bringing alcohol.
I'll bring
what's
food, too.
bringing?
I could bring edibles.
Yeah, no food,
Perfect.
just edibles. There we go.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. No food, just edibles. You drink and then you take the edibles so you're not on an empty stomach.
As a part of this weekend, this guy handed me 100 milligram
No.
beverage, right? Like 100 milligram
Is that
weed
like
beverage.
way too much?
And like he hands it to me, and I'm like literally like about to crack it open, and one of my friends is like, "Don't drink that."
That's so much. Like, isn't a normal amount like 20 something?
Like an edible will have like 10 in it per.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those drinks are kind of crazy. You take a sip and you're like, oh, I need to go to bed. So I can't even imagine drinking more than
Right
that.
now.
Bear Swafes says, "Loving the show as always. What amusement or theme park ride would each DCP host be?" What would it be?
Oh, would we be?
Is there a
I don't know
Humpty
what I'd
Dumpty
be.
ride?
I haven't been to
I
an
gotta be
amusement
like-
park in a long time.
I'd be like the haunted house because of all the spiders or some shit.
Hmm. That's
Just there's a haunted house, but it's just Australian animals. So it's just snakes.
Mylan, you'd be like
spiders.
Epcot because you'd be telling us all like history and shit.
I do. Yeah, I do like that ride. The big, whatever it's called.
I don't know. Space
Maybe
Mountain.
something slow. Space
Yeah,
Mountain.
I don't know. What's
Something
even
slow
my
and
favorite
boring for
ride?
me.
The teacup
Oh, I
ride.
do like those. I do like the where you're inside. They're like inside roller coasters, but you're not moving. You know,
Is it the
where,
one
Oh.
where you feel the G's or whatever? Where, it's
where you're
spinning?
just watching the screen and the chair kind of
Yeah.
moves a little
Oh
bit?
yeah, that's fun.
Those are really fun.
Oh yes.
I want to be one of
I know
those.
what you're talking about, like the experiences
fun.
or whatever they're
What's
called.
the one where you stand up against the wall and like the whole like you're into like a can and the whole
Like a
can spins
centrifuge.
and yeah, you get like stuck against the wall. That one's
Well,
fun.
it's like a spit. There's one in Is it Epcot? It's like a space mission and it's spinning and it goes like 2.5 G's or something like that.
They-
Wow.
It made me feel kind of sick because it makes your vision like do this because it's you're trying to focus on something and it's spinning.
Briar is the lazy river. I kind of like that. Lazy
I'm
River
into that.
Briar. That sounds like Briar.
I'm cool with that.
You'd like that.
Samuel Brownlee says, this one's for Mylan. What part of rollerblading helped you in your career becoming the number 6 lore person in Destiny? Was it Misty Flips or Royale's down handrails? As an avid rollerblading looking to get into the lore game, any advice would be appreciated.
How do you transfer from the blade to the book? Oh, that's your biography, Mylan.
Blade to book.
From the blade
I-
to the book.
I told you this in complete confidence, knowing that everyone would respect it and not make fun of me for aggressive inline skating, by the way, not rollerblading.
Aggressive inline skating.
Aggressive
Specific.
inline
There's a
skating.
GameCube game that's named after that.
Okay, I'll give you a
need to
rollerblading
play
story
it.
because it's a topic. That's how I severely destroyed my shoulder. I was grinding down a handrail. I jumped up to grind down a handrail and caught my feet, and I went flying down the staircase and landed on my arm outstretched, and it popped my shoulder, and I've never dislocated my shoulder before, and it was like, what is this pain? What is this pain? I'm in a lot of pain, and yeah, my shoulder's actually been completely fucked since I've done that. Then it
Jesus.
came out playing rugby, dislocated it 3 more times. It dislocated at MMA. I've had multiple surgeries on it. So yeah, guys,
wow.
aggressive inline skating is dangerous. Okay? Respect it.
It's for punk rockers, guys.
Were you wearing a helmet?
So I had this thing, right, because obviously I was a kid.
Because you were a cool, aggressive inline punk rocker.
Yeah. So
Can't wear helmets.
so I had this thing because obviously like it wasn't cool to like wear a helmet. So I had and obviously mum and dad were like, you wear a helmet, you fucking idiot. And anyway, so I would take the helmet with me and I would only put the helmet on if I was doing something which was like a new trick. So for like grinding a handrail, I'd put a helmet on. I'd try to front flip on like a half pipe, I'd put the helmet on. But then for like general rollerblading, I would like not have it on just so I could be cooler.
I
Yeah,
grew up
safety
in that
is
era
very
too. When I
uncool.
was
Isn't that weird?
when
What's
we
that?
were kids. I think it's
Safety's
different
so
now.
uncool.
I think it's different
Yeah,
now.
and now I'm so old. Whenever I go past, like if I'm driving and someone's like on a scooter or like even like a kid on a scooter, I'm like, what?
Nothing came
Where,
through
where
on
the hell? Oh,
Your
really?
mic
Put a
said
helmet
no.
on.
Put a
Yeah.
helmet on.
that.
I was just screaming, put a helmet on.
Yeah.
I'm so old that I remember when they like first like said, "Hey, you know, kids should probably start wearing helmets when they're on bicycles."
Yeah. Yeah.
We're like, "What the fuck? No."
Yeah.
Kyle Moulton says, "Been trying out a bunch of games while on break from Destiny. I've never played a Souls-like game. What's the best one to start with? Do I start with a Dark Souls or go straight to Elden Ring or something not even from FromSoft?"
Elden
Actually
Ring,
reckon
I would
Elden Ring.
say.
Yeah,
I would say Elden Ring.
So fucking
There's
good.
so many ways to make that game
Yeah.
easier or harder for
Yeah.
yourself, and so many play
Yep.
styles, and it's really good. So yeah,
It
that
is
one's
really
gonna
good.
be.
Yeah.
That was a one where people were like, I have never been able to get into Dark Souls or whatever, but I was able to get into Elden Ring and
Yeah.
actually finish it.
Yeah. I feel like it keeps the experience for From Software, but gives you avenues to go when you hit that blockade, rather than just
Yep.
like get good and
Mhm.
spend hours here. And yeah, you know what, I'll come back later. So I
Yep.
agree. Elden Ring.
I always want to point out Bloodborne, but man, like at some point they're gonna remake Bloodborne. At this point, I would just wait for Bloodborne. But that Demon Souls remake for the PlayStation 5 was fantastic.
It was really good. Also pretty easy
I
compared
found-
to other Souls games.
Oh, I've called
Oh,
bullshit.
sorry,
I found
Milo.
out.
Sorry. Uh-oh.
I've called bullshit. Demon Souls hurt me, man. I've got bad experience with Demon Souls.
I want to lobby for them to remake Ninja Gaiden like the
Mm.
Xbox one.
Yes, please.
That
Did
was
they
like,
announce that?
did they? They bringing it back?
Mhm.
There was a couple on the Vita. I don't know if it was exactly the same, but I played it. I remember playing the first couple. It was like Ninja Gaiden Black and
I would
regular
also
Ninja
like
Gaiden.
that to come back. Yeah,
Because it was like, I don't like Souls games, but it was like a genre that I loved, and the way that they did it with like the ninja with the blade and
yeah.
all that stuff, I really enjoyed that. And the progression, collecting the little balls of light, stuff like that.
Hakuna says more Destiny D&D when. Love this show. Keep up the amazing work. Really makes me my week. Thank you, Hakuna.
I would
Is-
love to do a DCP Destiny D&D. That'd be
Yeah,
super
that'd be fun.
fun.
You've not been working on this.
You haven't?
Yeah, kind of. I've always wanted to do the same thing, so we did do
Wait,
a.
Does working on this means I thought about this one time?
No. I've done more than just that. We did actually run a dungeon, like a one-shot dungeon, so I could understand Dungeons and Dragons a bit more, because I never actually had played it, because I wanted to like write a Destiny themed campaign that people could jump in and like just have a shot, and yeah, so we did all the things and had the dungeon, but I haven't gone more than that. And I know people have already like developed guides for like Dungeons and Destiny, like they have all the rule set kind of done. You just gotta have someone familiar.
I don't know if we could pull this together for our charity stream this year, but maybe like in a year in the future, that would be a hell of a fun thing to do.
Oh, we
That
could
would
do
be
it.
cool.
Oh, honestly, if you want to have it as a charity thing, like I can do more than just think about it. And there's so many people who play Destiny and Dungeons and Dragons. Like
There are.
I
that's
had
true.
I had a mod just literally write the campaign in a week, and he's a dungeon master, that kind of stuff. He wrote the campaign, like, and there are people who would just run it through it, like people who would be keen, who already do Dungeons and Destiny, that would run us through a campaign without doubt.
That would be really fun.
That's probably a good intensive, yeah.
There was speaking of that, just real quick, there was a Torch Dragon on Twitter said, simple question / offer. I made a Destiny TTRPG, totally unrelated to
Okay.
Dungeons and Destiny. You want to play sometime?
What's a RPG?
Tabletop.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Tabletop.
Tabletop RPG. Yeah.
I
I would
hoping
love
the
to see
TT
what you got.
stands for
What you
something
got
else.
going on there. I'd love to, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
I
love
would
to
like
see.
that too.
Link it.
But yeah, if we can get If we can get something like that ready for the charity stream, that'd be incredible.
Oh, you want to do it on the charity stream?
I
Yeah,
don't know. Or have a charity incentive for it. Would work too.
that would work.
Honestly, it would probably just be I don't know. I can't remember the name. There's someone out there that's already got the whole rule set and everything already done for Dungeons and Destiny, and you just like, I'm sure they would probably do it.
We're running out of time, so
Tag
we're gonna
us.
do one more question. Cobalt says, to clarify from last week's question. Oh, let's see if you guys can figure out what last week's question was
Okay.
based on the clarification.
Okay.
All right. You're allowed to wear shades of the same color. You can wear denim jeans with a navy shirt. What color would you wear for the rest of your life?
Oh, Yeah. I remember that. And I was like, beige. Because it will go with
Yes.
everything. Yeah, I remember.
Black,
Black.
head to toe.
I mean, gray shorts, black shoes.
Black.
Beige.
So hot in the summer, though.
I have to mute my mic. My kids are screaming so loud right now.
I
do
think I
like
might go
gray a
blue.
lot.
Because blue, you could do nice and light blue. You could do dark blue. You could look classy. You could look casual. There's a lot of usefulness in blue.
Blue head to toe though looks like I don't know, like a denim jumper or something. Sometimes.
I don't know. You could do like a light blue shirt and like dark blue bottoms. I think you'd be okay.
Sure. Oh, we can have like tones, so I can do monochrome, and it would work like blacks and grays and white.
Well, no, black is kind of just black.
So, but you can have
There's no
different
shades of
tones
black.
of blue. That doesn't make any sense.
Are there shades of black?
Gray is it's all monochrome. Black and white, kind of light grays, dark grays, black. It's all the same kind of.
I mean, you could do like a greenish blue, but you can't do like greenish black.
You can do a greenish gray.
Gray is black, though.
It is.
No,
It's all
it's,
part of the same like gradient of colors. Like
it's white and black. Black is just black.
well, light green would be like green and yellow. If you know what I mean. If you're looking at
That's
a
true.
color wheel,
Yeah,
it's
that's
all
true.
they all meld into each other. Color.
You know what
theory
pisses
here
me
and
off,
there.
Jay? I'll tell you this. If you go and buy paint and you ask for white paint, they're going to say, what color white?
Yeah,
And motherfucker,
white,
I asked for white.
cream, pearl.
And then you get white paint, and there's also super white, and there's ultra white, and there's like ultra deluxe white, and like they're just like more and more white. What don't you understand about white? White,
How white do you want it to be?
white.
That sounds like super white then, or ultra white.
Sorry, that reminded me of paint.
You want 6F is what you want.
6F.
RGB. Yeah.
Paint.
F.
All
That's what
right,
you need to go into with that.
let's wrap this one up, guys. Once again,
Right.
having solved all of the mysteries of Destiny, again, you're welcome for the 500th week.
Correct.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Did it.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.